Chapter 51. The division of troops, the turning point of Restaurant B, the crisis of zombies, and the root of all dangers. With a flash of light in his eyes, Li Mu pulled Xinlan and the two around the steel container and walked towards a three-sided aisle. On the player's side, seeing Li Mu's actions, a group of players immediately leaned over. Noticing the movement of the group of players, Li Mu sat down against the wall with Xinlan and Catherine, and the players who followed were stunned. Looking at the three of Li Mu with gloomy eyes, Lu Mang's face was very ugly. Before that, Li Mu didn't cooperate many times and was threatened by counterattack, which made Lu Mang feel very bad. In the F-level area, the world of zombie games basically the highest death rate. No amount of bullets can stop the tide of corpses. No matter how powerful the zombies are, they will be consumed alive. He can be sure of the anomalies of Li Mu and the three of them. These three people definitely know something. Look at these three people. If there is anything wrong, report it in time. If they play any tricks, take them down directly. Be careful not to be bombed by grenades. Beside Lu Mang, a few teammates nodded and looked at Li Mu with the same unkind eyes. For them, not sharing any news was deliberately killing them. If it wasn't for the fear of those grenades before, and because they didn't want to be guarded by the characters in the plot, they all wanted to shoot. After instructing a few players, Lu Mang wandered around the player team, saying something. A group of players frequently looked at Li Mu with murderous eyes. By the wall, Catherine glanced at Li Mu and said in a low voice, "Those people are planning on us. They are probably going to do something wrong. Shall we do it first?" Li Mu had seen the situation of the players a long time ago, shook his head, pointed around and said, "Now is not the time, wait for the zombies to come out, and then take advantage of the chaos. This is not a Jedi game. There will be no prompts for killing people. As long as they have someone to order, don't hesitate." Hearing Li Mu's instructions, Xinlan and Catherine nodded indistinctly, and looked at the group of players with murderous intent in their eyes. The infinite world is like this. In order to survive, either you kill me or I kill you. In the game, there are always more than one enemy. During the long wait, suddenly the light above his head flickered a few times, and the darkness fell instantly. At this moment, in the darkness, Li Mu did not know when a black weapon appeared in his hand. The long gun body, long black barrel, and infrared sight are impressively M24 sniper rifles left over from the world of PlayerUnknown's battlegrounds. There was no need to order. When Li Mu lightly jumped onto the steel container, Xinlan and Catherine flashed to both sides at the same time. Puff! The sound of a stapler flashed suddenly with fireworks, and in the darkness, a figure fell to the ground with a muffled grunt. After the lights flickered, it suddenly went dark, instantly alerting a group of players. What's going on? Why did the lights suddenly go dark? Be careful! In the darkness, Ren looked at the flustered players with disdain, and said, "This is a power outage caused by turning off the Flame Queen, and it will be fine in a minute at most." Just when Ren finished speaking, the sound of falling to the ground suddenly came. Plop! What happened? What happened? Crap! What's wrong with you, Qianding? A dozen or so eyes looked at the fallen player, and Ren, who was originally disdainful, turned serious. Grass! Where are the three? Amidst the yelling, a group of players looked in the direction of the corner, but they didn't find any trace of Li Mu and the three of them. Restaurant B went dark, but they couldn't see everything, at least they could still see clearly within 6 or 7 meters. Where are we going? It seems that we don't need to report to you. Walking out from the other side with Xinlan and Catherine, Li Mu's expression remained unchanged, but he was happy in his heart. At this time, the system's notification sound was still echoing in his mind. Ding! You killed Qianding, the infinite player, and you can get 1/5 of his points. Congratulations, you got 100 points. Ding! The 10 times reward talent is activated. Congratulations on getting 1000 points. Killing someone actually got 1000 points? Li Mu almost burst into laughter. Although it has the effect of rewarding talents 10 times, this Qianding is considered rich, and 1 out of 5 has 100 points. This kid actually saved 500 points in advance for a mission? It seems to be to prevent mission punishment. Unlike Li Mu's happiness, Wu Yang was not so happy. Within 2 seconds, his teammate suddenly died for no apparent reason. How could this not annoy him? Especially with Li Mu's appearance, Wu Yang doubted whether Qianding was secretly killed by Li Mu, but he had no evidence, and the sound of the M24 silencer was too low. He looked at Li Mu with cold eyes, and when he passed by, Wu Yang gritted his teeth and warned, "Don't be too complacent. I will clean you up sooner or later." Chapter 52. Roll. The momentum was not weak at all. Facing Wu Yang's threat, Li Mu raised his leg and kicked him. Wu Yang was sent flying with his powerful kick. Boom. Restaurant B originally had many obstacles, but when he was kicked flying, Wu Yang never expected that Li Mu would make a sudden move, and his strong body dented a metal container in an instant. Puff. The front and back bombardment caused Wu Yang to be severely injured in an instant, and a mouthful of blood was splashed on the ground in an instant. "What are you doing? You dare to do something when you are riding a horse? Brother Yang! Are you okay?" The scene became chaotic in an instant, and more than a dozen players raised their guns in an instant, glaring at Li Mu. In the task force, Ren and the others looked dumbfounded. It's normal to kick people away, but it seems to be a steel container, right? Such a big piece of indentation? This is so FG out of the way, I can't even pick it off. Is this power still human? Sweeping coldly over these players, his eyes finally stopped on the players who helped Wu Yang get down. Li Mu snorted coldly, "You all should know the rules. I don't want to kill people, but I won't let wild dogs bark, especially when the barking object is a male lion." The complexion changed drastically. More than a dozen players were not fools. They knew what Wu Yang threatened just now. In the infinite world, everything is based on strength. It is not a wise choice to rashly anger a strong person. They didn't see the kick just now, and Wu Yang was hit by the kick in an instant. You must know that Wu Yang is the captain of a small team. A strong man with a strength attribute of 5 points can be regarded as a third-rate strong man in an F-level area. The ones. It is such a powerful Wu Yang, but he can't take care of himself when he is kicked by the man in front of him. This man has at least 6 points of agility and strength, right? 6 points of agility almost overwhelm everyone's nerves. They do have a lot of guns, but they still have to be able to shoot. It doesn't mean that 6 points of agility can avoid bullets. It is not easy to dodge bullets, but it is easy to dodge them. But shooting always requires movement, as well as the direction of the muzzle. The 6-point agility blessing is enough to avoid their hand speed. Simply put, their hand speed cannot catch up with Li Mu's movement speed. The players looked at each other in blank dismay, and the guns in their hands lowered their muzzles intentionally or unintentionally. The iron rule of the infinite world is that the strong are respected, and the weak threaten the strong. It is really lucky to not die. Supported by several teammates, Wu Yang looked at Li Mu in fear. That kick just now really made him walk around from the gate of hell, and now thinking about it, he feels chills in his heart. Feeling distressed, Wu Yang took out a bottle of potion. Wu Yang looked up and drank it. The zombie world is too dangerous. If he is seriously injured, he will definitely die. This bottle of potion is a healing potion that he bought for 500 points, which can restore 100% of his life. 30 injuries. After drinking the healing potion, the injuries in his body obviously healed a lot. Wu Yang apologized to Li Mu, "I'm sorry, my lord. It's Wu Yang who is arrogant. I hope you, my lord, don't remember the mistakes of villains. If it weren't for the fact that the zombie world is too dangerous, that kick just now would have killed you." Li Mu snorted coldly, and Li Mu didn't show any face at all. A strong man must have a strong temper. In the infinite world, the more you tolerate, the harder you will be bullied. People are good at being bullied, wives are being ridden by others, it is Ma Shan who is being ridden by others. These players are cheap, if they don't beat them hard, they won't know who is the father. After being yelled at by Li Mu, a group of players hurriedly nodded and smiled apologetically, cursing Li Mu secretly in their hearts. The light flickered for a while, and after a moment of power failure, the light that was originally pressed illuminated the entire area again. Lights can bring people a sense of security. When the lights are on, everyone subconsciously breathes a sigh of relief. Jingle lang lang, jingle lang lang. A strange sound suddenly came from nowhere, like metal hitting the ground. The strange sound immediately alerted the players who had just relaxed. A sudden power outage is not a good omen. Coupled with this strange sound, almost everyone has a bad premonition. 80% of the zombies are coming. Zinlin, come with me, let's go over there and have a look, don't just stand here, go around and see what's going on. Pretending to say something, Li Mu turned his head and left, and the players who were standing there knew that there was no delay, so they dispersed and walked carefully in all directions. Standing behind a steel container, watching the zombies slowly appearing from a distance, Li Mu knocked on the steel petri dish behind and suddenly said, "The liquors here are the most important thing. Maybe we can give those players a huge surprise." Chapter 53. Surprise? Catherine's eyes flickered, and she couldn't help but look at Xinlan. In the dark area before, Xinlan did not control those monsters. Taking a deep breath, Catherine didn't think about the liquor. That was a bit far away for her. The speed of the liquor was too fast. She went up to deliver food, so she could only swipe zombies to get points. At most, if you count the zombie dogs, you can get a lot of points after this trip. The only thing that makes her a little embarrassed is that she has too few bullets, so she should use them sparingly. The Desert Eagle still has 93 bullets, and the 2 magazines of the MP5 only have 60 rounds, which is stretched. But this time the game world is over, her situation will be much better. Holding up the MP5, looking at the walking zombies, she pulled the trigger without hesitation. Tut-chug. The recoil of the MP5 submachine gun is perfectly controlled by Catherine. It seems to save bullets. She has been firing bursts with extremely high accuracy. Almost every bullet can headshot a zombie. What's going on? What happened? Grass. Zombies have appeared on our side. Fire. Fire. The zombies are all around. The shouts of the players kept coming, and in the middle area, Ren was stunned, and he and JD looked at each other, not knowing what was going on. Zombies? What is that? Just when the two felt that something was wrong, Ren suddenly saw a figure rushing over from behind JD, and hurriedly shouted, "Careful!" Pushing JD away, the figure that suddenly appeared rushed to Ren, biting her arm instantly. Leaning against the edge of the petri dish, Li Mu was not crowded with Catherine. Restaurant B extended in all directions. Looking at another aisle area, Li Mu kept shooting from the MP5 in his hand. For Li Mu, the MP5 is not a good thing. There are only 60 rounds of ammunition, and they can be thrown away when they are used up. He has a lot of guns and ammunition in his backpack. Chug chug. The fireworks shot out with hot bullets. There were so many zombies that Li Mu didn't even need to deliberately aim, and the zombies fell to the ground one by one. Ding! Congratulations, you killed one zombie, you get 5 points, the 10 times bonus talent is activated, you get 50 points, and the current number of kills is 1. Ding! Congratulations, you killed one zombie, you get 5 points, the 10 times reward talent is activated, you get 50 points, and the current number of kills is 10. Ding! Congratulations on completing task 3. There is no reward for completing the task. Ding! Congratulations, you killed one zombie, you get 5 points, the 10 times reward talent is activated, you get 50 points, the current number of kills is 47. Suddenly an invalid reminder was interrupted in the middle. Li Mu rolled his eyes, and you still gave a reminder without reward. Caw caw caw. The sound of emptying came from the MP5 continuously. The 2 magazines were used up, and the MP5 was completely useless. Li Mu threw it out with his hands. Under the powerful force, he knocked down several zombies in an instant. 60 bullets killed 47 zombies, one with 50 points, which is 2,350 points, and the points came too fast. Of course, everything is supported by the talent of 10 times the reward. Withdraw. Quickly withdraw. Soldiers of the A troop, hurry up, the Flame Queen has released all those monsters. While the players were happily collecting their points, Kaplan ran over from the main control room with Alice, who had disappeared for a long time. There were more than a dozen of them in the past, but there were only 3 of them when they came back. Turning his head and taking a look, Li Mu knew that all the traps of the Flame Queen had been played to death, but he really had to retreat at this time. These containers holding the liquors were too unstable. Li Mu remembered that the reason why one liquor woke up first was that the petri dish was damaged by flying bullets, and then there were liquors who ran out first. Now that so many players are shooting indiscriminately, they may destroy a few petri dishes, so they should retreat with the protagonist's team first, and the water and electricity pipes are more suitable for killing zombies. Xinlan, Catherine, let's go. With a cry, Xinlan and Catherine came back to their senses, and hurriedly followed Li Mu while walking back. After emptying the bullet and looking at the MP5 in her hand that had turned into scrap metal, Catherine felt a little regretful. but more excited. With a total of 60 bullets, she easily killed 60 zombies, gained 300 points, and completed task 3, but unfortunately there was no reward. Holding the Desert Eagle in her hand, Catherine did not shoot rashly, and the Desert Eagle only had 93 bullets, so she wanted to save it. Speaking of bullets, Catherine looked at Xinlan enviously. At this time, Xinlan was holding an S686 in his hand. She remembered that this S686 was given by Li Mu, and this gun seemed to be brought out from a Jedi. With this firepower, even if a licker hit it face to face, it would be useless, right? In Biochemical 2, Alice really did a lot of headshots. A licker, at least 50 points, right? Now Catherine looks at Xinlan, her eyes are full of envy. Chapter 54. Xinlan's marksmanship is not good, to be honest. M416 and AKM guns are not suitable for her, and it would be a waste of bullets to use them for her, but the S686 is different. All beings are equal in marksmanship. As long as you don't shoot into the sky, you can shoot anywhere within 10 meters, especially zombies that don't move fast, but the effect is just as Li Mu imagined, very outstanding. With M416 in his arms, Li Mu cleaned up the zombies behind him while retreating. Speaking of Matt, he was lucky. With players like Li Mu cleaning up the zombies, his handcuffs were untied early. But what attracted Li Mu's attention was Ren. Even with the players, she was still bitten by zombies, but her palms turned into arms. Noticing this, the three of Li Mu and even the players stayed away from Ren. You know, if you are bitten by a zombie, you will turn into a zombie. Li Mu doesn't know if it will be the same as the plot, so be careful. Da-da-da. Boom. Boom. The gunfire intersected, and the zombies in the distance were hard to approach under the crush of more than a dozen lines of fire. Behind Li Mu, Kaplan was working hard to decipher the password of the elevator. I don't know if it's because of his lack of mental quality. Kaplan, a computer operator, was shaking his hands and kept pressing the wrong password. JD, who was also on the same team, emptied the bullet and pushed him to the side. Tell me the password. Seeing this, Li Mu already knew the result. In fact, there were so many people there was no need to take the elevator, because the elevator couldn't hold nearly 20 people. As in the plot, when the elevator door opened, JD was swallowed by the zombies in an instant. With no way out, Kaplan took the lead and ran towards the main control room. While fighting and retreating, the zombies were still too slow in the end, and they were completely thrown away in a short time. They retreated all the way to the main control room. After eliminating the last zombie in front of them, Li Mu quickly replaced the magazine, and the prompt sound in his ear only then did it stop for a while. Ding! Congratulations, you killed one zombie, you get 5 points, the 10 times reward talent is activated, you get 50 points, the current number of kills is 81. Speaking of it, the harvest this time is not as good as the previous MP5, but it consumes more bullets. It's all because everyone gathers together, bullets are often shot out, and zombies are already dead. But Li Mu is not a pity, he has enough bullets, 5.56 bullets and 11,000 plus, but what about this group of players? Li Mu couldn't believe how many bullets they still had. In infinite space, bullets are also very valuable. For example, Desert Eagle bullets cost 1 point. Although they are specially made, it is enough to prove that the bullets are expensive. In the main control room, since the door was closed, the zombies couldn't get through at all. Li Mu and others were all sitting here to rest, and a group of players had worried expressions on their faces. Brother Yang, do you still have bullets? Old man, do you still have bullets? I still have a magazine here, and I'm about to run out of bullets. There are a lot of zombies. I don't have many bullets. If I encounter such a large pile of zombies again, it will be miserable. I didn't expect it to be zombies this time. I'm not prepared enough. Not only did the players run out of bullets, Ren and Kaplan were also checking their ammunition, and even Ren dropped the empty gun on the ground. A gun without bullets, in addition to increasing the load, is not as good as a fire stick. On Li Mu's side, Catherine also carefully checked her ammunition. Just now she fired 4 clips with 28 bullets, and now there are only 65 bullets left. The harvest is also not much, and the total is only 73. Zombies. Looking at Catherine, who was saving money and almost broke a bullet in half, Li Mu shook his head, took out an M416 from his backpack and handed it to her. Looking at the gun that Li Mu handed over, Catherine was stunned, with a look of surprise on her exquisite face. You must know that this is not only a gun, but also 2 magazines with 40 bullets, which add up to a total of 120 bullets. What is her identity? It's just Li Mu's slave, but now she can get this kind of treatment. Before that, she was envious of Xinlan. Take it, don't say that I abused you and prevented you from growing up. I know you are a female killer. I don't need you to open your heart. At least don't let the stumbling block hold you back. Nodding silently, Catherine put the Desert Eagle in the gun pouch, and took the M416 and 2 magazines that Li Mu brought her. Thanks. Without speaking, Li Mu leaned against the wall and closed his eyes. He doesn't need to do anything now, just follow the plot and Kaplan and Alice will naturally have results. On the player's side, a group of people's eyes are turning green. Everyone is running out of ammunition. Li Mu doesn't care if he has ammo, but he even sent out an M416 plus 2 clips. This adds up to 120 rounds of ammunition. In the Infinite Store, these are worth 260 points. 200-point guns, 60-point bullets, 5.56 bullets for general use, and 1 point for 2. It can be said that as long as there is a gun, bullets are not a problem. They basically use M416. 260 points. If you say give it away, you will give it away, and you don't think of points as points. Chapter 55. FK? That's 120 rounds of bullets. If you say give it away, you can give it away. Even if you kill 60 zombies, this is 300 points. Adding its own value, this is equivalent to giving away 500 points. Integral. I'm so convinced. Is it okay to pick up girls like this? I'm so envious and jealous. Why am I not a girl anymore? I also want someone to give me M416 and bullets for free. I don't ask much, just give me 120 bullets. This kid is really FG rich. How many bullets have been fired in a while, and he was shown off by the rich second generation on our planet, and also by the local tyrants in the FG infinite space. Your sister really has no way out. A group of players talked a lot, looking at Li Mu's eyes was full of envy and hatred, and they almost came up to grab the bullets, but thinking about Li Mu's ability to kick Wu Yang away, they all calmed down. Beside Li Mu, Catherine touched the M416 in her hand, her eyes were complicated. She was originally a female killer, so her heart is naturally cold. For Li Mu, she should hate Li Mu. After all, being forced to be a slave is a person's heart. But in the past few days, Li Mu has been taking care of her consciously or unconsciously, and she just gave her these weapons and bullets, and now she is a little at a loss. She didn't know whether she should continue to hate Li Mu, and hoped that one day she would turn over and be controlled by Li Mu, and even kill her. She didn't know what happened. She, the top 3 female killers in the majestic killer world, with the title of queen, actually has times of soft heart and hesitation? Shouldn't her heart be completely cold? What is going on now? Looking up at Li Mu, the man's eyes were closed, only the profile of his face was full of indescribable charm, and he seemed to be addicted to it after a long time. Shaking her head, Catherine quickly looked away, feeling a little scared in her heart. Is she interested in this man? Are you kidding me? Catherine doubts her life. How many days have she known each other? Can such a small favor wipe away her hatred? Still tempted? What kind of fantasy is this? Catherine couldn't imagine that Li Mu's charm attribute is 100 points. Although it is not the kind of life and death love that just looks at it, but under the subtle influence, let alone the frozen heart, the stone will be softened for you. Li Mu didn't think about this. After all, charm is such a thing, who always thinks about it? Li Mu obviously relies on his ability to make a living, not his face. Li Mu's side is very quiet, but the task force's side has already made a fuss. Only the injured Ren and Kaplan are left in the whole team. Their task is to shut down the Flame Queen and see if there are any survivors. As a result, almost all of them were wiped out, and monsters they couldn't understand appeared. Several plot characters kept arguing, and finally the flames of war were burned to Li Mu and the other players. What the hell do you know? You call that a zombie? Tell us what you know. Constantly walking up and down, Ren looked at the players and asked with suppressed anger. In fact, the players are also very confused. They only know that this is Resident Evil 1 in the world of zombies, and they don't understand the rest. They don't dare to provoke Ren now. After all, there are only a few seedlings left in the plot team, and if they can't escape, they will die. One of the rules of the infinite game, do not interfere with the movements of the characters in the plot, and do not give random suggestions, otherwise the direction will be changed, and the situation of a narrow escape may become a 10-death situation. We don't know either. We are just the troops responsible for the cleanup. Umbrella's task is to clean up the corpses that have been resurrected by the virus. They are called zombies. Now we should think about how to escape. Opening his eyes, looking at Ren, Li Mu said calmly. He didn't say no, he expected this group of players to be cool. Duan. Duan. With an average attribute of over 6 points, Li Mu's 5 senses are very keen. Looking at the way he came, Li Mu narrowed his eyes. The voice is Liquor. He turned his head and looked around the main control room with a serious expression. Unsurprisingly, Alice and Matt had disappeared, and they should have gone to the laboratory in the plot. Li Mu's sudden strange behavior surprised everyone, and they all looked at him nervously. What's wrong? What did you find? I seem to have heard something. This sentence was said by Wu Yang. The captains of the players also looked a little ugly, and they seemed to have heard it. Alice and Matt disappeared normally, but they were all planned, but these idiots didn't see it. Li Mu couldn't help but rolled his eyes. What's the matter? Ren asked with a serious face. There's a big scary guy coming out, but there's something important right now. Turning to look at a group of players sitting in the corner, Li Mu's tone was very grumpy. A bunch of idiots, where's Alice? Where's Matt? Where did you go? It's amazing that you survived. A bunch of trash. Hurry up and find them. Chapter 56. Alice? Matt? After being scolded by Li Mu, the players were on fire. They just looked around but couldn't find Alice and Matt. Suddenly, they seemed to be poured down by a pot of cold water, and there was no fire left. Alice and Matt are the protagonists, and the mission requires that they be taken out alive. Now the two suddenly disappeared. Once they die, they will be punished with a high penalty of 1,000 points. If they don't, they will be wiped out directly. Quick! Go find it! Grass! Everyone, don't disperse, look for each team one by one. Ren and the others were stunned, didn't they just run away and lost 2 people? As for being so excited? Are these people also responsible for protecting personnel? Seeing a group of players running towards the laboratory, Li Mu called Shang Xinlin and Catherine to chase after them. Catherine is the weakest among Li and Mu, but her agility of 2.8 is almost 3 times the speed of a normal person. Do you know about 10 meters per second? Seeing Li Mu and his group disappear at an incomprehensible speed, Ren and the others felt a gust of autumn wind blowing, and the figures of the 3 of them became much more bleak. Are we still following? After a long time, Kaplan asked this question. They seem to be unable to eat ashes? Chasing, the 3 of us are too dangerous. Ren said in a deep voice, and Ren ran towards the laboratory with a dull head. The experimental area of the hive is very large. Li Mu took Xinlin and the 2 to go through quickly. He deliberately ignored Alice and Matt. The team size was too large, so Li Mu wanted to cut some in advance. Anyone who has played League of Legends knows that how can replenishing troops be quicker than killing people? The same is true for infinite games. A zombie only has 5 points, but what about killing a person? Look at the player in front, 1 out of 5 needs 100 points. After 10 times the reward is 1000 points, which is also killing. Why not find more points? Li Mu big brother, this is the dog cage. He stopped and looked at the direction Xinlin was pointing at. Dozens of dog cages had been knocked open. These should be the places where zombie dogs were born, and Alice was also in distress here. Catch up and have a look. Zombie dogs are a member of Li Mu's plan. This kind of zombie dogs are aggressive, fast, and good at concealment. Generally, players are likely to be killed if they are careless, especially if there are many of them. Here are footprints, which should belong to Alice. After running not far, looking at the shoe prints on the ground, Xinlin said in a low voice. Keep chasing. Pushing open the door, looking at the corpses of zombie dogs with severed heads on the ground in front of them, the 3 of Li and Mu didn't stop. They ran out for tens of meters, and saw Alice confronting the 3 zombie dogs not too far away. The sound of footsteps broke the silence, and the 3 zombie dogs looked at Li Mu in unison, but they were greeted by 3 bullets. Bang bang bang! With Li Mu's current agility, the 3 zombie dogs had no time to react, and their heads were blown off in an instant. Ding! Congratulations, you have killed 1 zombie dog, you will get 20 points, the 10 times reward talent will be activated, and you will get 200 points. The number of zombie dogs you have killed is currently 1. Ding! Ding! Congratulations, you have killed 1 zombie dog, you will get 20 points, the 10 times bonus talent will be activated, and you will get 200 points. The number of zombie dogs you have killed so far is 3. 600 points were credited in an instant, and Alice couldn't help but heaved a sigh of relief when she saw the 3 of Li Mu approaching. Just as she lowered her head, she suddenly saw Li Mu raising a gun to her. Bang bang bang! Subconsciously covering her head, when Alice realized that she was fine, 3 corpses suddenly fell from the ground. Turning her head to look at the zombie dog that fell to the ground, Alice patted her chest, obviously frightened. Gaining 600 points again, Li Mu looked at the messy situation here, and said, "It's too dangerous here, come with us." Without a gun, Alice knew the danger, so she nodded and walked to the side of Li Mu and the others. "Where are you going?" "We've been walking around, you lead the way." She glanced at Li Mu in surprise. Alice didn't expect that Li Mu would let her lead the way, but she didn't think much about it. She walked over the obstacles and the corpse of the zombie dog, opened a door and walked in. It is difficult to find Matt, but it should not be difficult if Alice leads the way. There must be an inertial connection between the 2 protagonists. The laboratory is quite chaotic, and there will be zombie dogs running out from time to time, but before they can run over, Li Mu blows their heads off. The zombie dogs are still a bit too weak, so maybe Catherine can deal with them just fine. But Catherine didn't have 10 times the reward, it was too wasteful, so let him accept it with a smile. Killing a zombie dog again, Li Mu thought, this is already the 13th one, and he has earned a full 2,600 points. Just after changing the magazine, suddenly a series of gunshots came from the laboratory on the right, and players shouted. "Come here! Matt is here! Damn it! There are too many zombie dogs!" Chapter 57. Wu Yang, do you think this is okay? In a certain area of the laboratory, a group of players are gathering here. Through the window, 1 player and Matt in the front laboratory are constantly retreating, shooting at dozens of zombie dogs surrounding them. With the deterrence of guns, these zombie dogs have been looking around for opportunities, and the cry for help came from this player. "What's wrong? You guys seem to have proposed this plan, right? That man is here, everyone should be careful." Just now Xiao Hao also said that he found that man next door. Now Alice has it, and Matt has it too. Even if they are bitten by zombie dogs because of the plan, I still have an antidote here, and all viruses below F level can be immune. Wu Yang's voice was full of resentment, and several captain-level players around him leaned against him, planning how to set up traps for Li Mu, and even used his own team members and the protagonist as bait. On the other side, when Li Mu heard gunshots and cries for help, Li Mu's expression changed, and several people quickly ran towards the direction of the sound. A door away, looking at the players and Matt who were almost surrounded by zombie dogs, Li Mu frowned and did not rush over. Grabbing Alice who was about to rush out, Li Mu shook his head and said, "You will only give it away for nothing if you go out like this, calm down." Reassuring Alice, Li Mu raised the M416 and Catherine and Xinlan also raised their guns. Pushing open the door, several zombie dogs didn't know whether they smelled the smell of living people or heard the sound, and turned their horrifying heads. At this moment, Li Mu and Xinlan opened fire instantly. Da-da-da! Boom! Boom! The sound of gunshots covered everything. 2 M416s and 1 S686 fired at the same time. The dense rain of bullets instantly enveloped more than a dozen zombie dogs, especially Li Mu and Catherine. Their advanced gun proficiency almost pulled the M416 into a single line. Wire. More than a dozen zombie dogs were splashed with dirty blood, and more than a dozen of them were killed in an instant, only a few of them retreated and disappeared around the corner. Zombie dogs still retain part of their wisdom, like seeking profit and avoiding evil, possessing the wisdom of a beast, and will choose to retreat in the face of great danger. On the other side of the laboratory, Wu Yang and others looked at the zombie dogs that were almost wiped out in an instant, feeling a little chilled in their hearts, but this was also one of their plans. As long as Li Mu stepped out and appeared in their sight, the guns in their hands would instantly smash Li Mu into a sieve. This was their plan. They still don't believe it. No matter how strong Li Mu is, he can still dodge dozens of guns? Walking towards Matt and another player, Li Mu frowned more and more as he walked. The blood of the Devil King seemed to be warning. He seemed to have a bad premonition in his heart, and carefully looked at the stupid player in front of him. Li Mu stopped suddenly. "Mr. Matt, come here." The mind was a little dazed. The sadness of his sister's death and the fear of facing more than a dozen zombie dogs took Matt a long time to recover. Looking at Alice, who was protected behind him, Matt raised his legs and walked towards Li Mu. "Go." As soon as Matt left, the players beside him panicked, and Wu Yang, a group of players tens of meters away, also panicked. How could they fail so easily after a hard-won plan? "Mr. Matt, we came from here, and we can go directly to the main control room from here." "My lord, you can go this way too." Sweating on his head, Zhou Yalin tried to lure Li Mu over. He knew the plan. After successfully killing Li Mu, he could get an extra 1,000 points, which is already a huge amount. What's more, the plan is very safe. There are antidotes and recovery potions. As long as he doesn't die instantly, everything will be fine, as his captain told him. Standing in place without moving, Li Mu squinted his eyes. He had already seen that something was wrong. The player's eyes were always looking to the right, his head was sweating, and even his body was trembling unnaturally. This all proved that the player have a plan. Did you know? When a person is lying or guilty, his head will sweat, his eyes will flicker, he will subconsciously look around, and his body will behave unnaturally. "I don't know what you want to do, and I don't want to know, so you'd better die." When Li Mu was halfway through speaking, Zhou Yalin felt bad. Looking at Li Mu's raised muzzle, he showed despair and opened his mouth to beg for mercy. Boom! Bang bang! The continuous gunshots didn't give him a chance at all. He was shot in the head many times, and Zhou Yalin fell back unwillingly. Ding! You killed the player Zhou Yalin, and you can get 1/5 of his points. Congratulations, you got 1,000 points. 10 times reward talent is activated. Congratulations, you got 10,000 points. Li Mu. Chapter 58. Zhou Yalin is dead. He is very unwilling. He has accumulated points for so long, and he will soon be able to exchange for a Barrett sniper cannon. For this reason, he has not even strengthened his personal attributes much, now. But he died so simply. He was so unwilling that he kept his eyes open. Li Mu was a little overwhelmed when he suddenly got a huge sum of 10,000 points. 100 or 200 points is okay, and 300 or 400 points is also understandable, but you, your sister, have 5,000 points on you? This child is probably sick, right? Could it be that he has the same talent as himself? Li Mu is a little skeptical about life. Character, Li Mu strength, 7 agility, 6.3 spirit, 6.6 physique, 6.7 hidden attribute charm, 100, SSS, perception, 40 lucky, 21 comprehensive strength evaluation, F special bloodline, Demon King bloodline, SSS, blood awakening degree, 1/100 plus skills, Demon King transformation, Hell Demon Flame, Dark Magic Ball, primary recovery talent, 10 times reward possessed items, Dark Bloodline gift pack, 8/10, substitute puppet x2, folded item card x8, crystal core x20 character points, 31,350 points. Teammates, Li Xinlin, Catherine Slave. Catherine just killed 6 zombie dogs again, adding up to more than 30,000 points. Li Mu couldn't help but let out a sigh of relief. Looking to the right, there is nothing there across countless windows, and Li Mu didn't speak, but turned to look at Alice in amazement, and said, "Let's go back." Li Mu's sudden killing made Alice a little scared, and they didn't dare to ask any more questions, and turned their heads and walked towards the way they came. Following behind, Li Mu raised his heart. It was obvious that those players planned to attack him just now, but he was the same, except that they came faster. Many of the main props, zombie dogs, have been killed, and the plan is probably a failure. Li Mu is thinking about how to come up with the next plan. He does not intend to let these players leave the Resident Evil world alive. Duan! Duan! The voice from nowhere was echoing. Li Mu's footsteps paused, and there was a little joy on his face. Unlike Li Mu, Catherine's face was full of worry. She could hear the sound of a liquor breaking a metal vessel. What's going on now? Have the liquors come out en masse? Let's go. Liquors are both dangerous and helpful. Li Mu has the confidence to face those players, but those guns are still too much of a headache. It is true that they cannot keep up with his speed, but it is not good to jump over the wall in a hurry. That's why Li Mu didn't act forcefully. All the way back to the main control room, I happened to run into Ren and a few people. The most important thing was that the three of Ren didn't have those players around them. Li Mu doesn't care whether Alice and Matt are dead or not. What he cares about is the 1,500 points. After 10 times the reward, it will be 15,000 points. This is not a small amount. Xinlan, Catherine, you guys go back to the main control room. You don't need to do anything, just wait for me to come back. I have important things to do, and I will be back within half an hour. Taking out some bullets and handing them to Xinlan and Catherine, Li Mu turned around and walked into the laboratory again. With Xinlan here, Li Mu can rest assured that he has not paid less public food these days, at least 3 times a day, and the current awakening of Xinlan's blood is as high as 3%. The succubus transforms for up to 15 seconds. After the transformation, the 4-dimensional attribute increases by 2 points. Among other things, the attribute of spirit is as high as 8.6, and Xinlan has 28 crystal nuclei. Li Mu really didn't believe it. Among this group of players, there were some players whose mental attributes exceeded 8 points. As long as they didn't exceed 8 points, in the narrow space of the main control room, Xinlan's charming eyes could kill those players. Turning a corner, Li Mu stopped, looked at the & sign behind the blood, and clicked with his mind. Ding! Would you like to spend 1,000 points to increase the bloodline awakening degree by 1/100? Yes, the awakening speed of Xinlan bloodline can be improved by paying the public rations, but he must use points to cheat. Confirm. Ding! Deduct 1,000 points, bloodline awakening degree +1, currently 2/100, and the transformation of the Devil King can last for 10 seconds. Ding! May I ask if it costs? Confirm. Spending points is like running water. The original 30,000 points dropped by a single digit in an instant, and finally stopped at 26,350 points. Ding! Deduct 1,000 points, bloodline awakening degree +1, currently 6/100, and the transformation of the Devil King can last for 30 seconds. The blood of the devil in the body is boiling, awakened 5 times in a row. The blood of the devil is assimilating the original blood of Li Mu, the blood is boiling, roaring, and the fighting spirit is boiling. Exhale, Li Mu tried the Demon King transformation before, and after the transformation, the 4-dimensional attribute instantly soared by 3 points, which is 1 point higher than Xinlan's 2 points. You know, the difference of 1 point is already unreasonable counted. The most simple and intuitive thing is that you can't catch me, but I can give you a big slap at any time. If you punch me, it hurts a little, but if I punch you, it will kill you. Chapter 59. Wu Yong's heart is very heavy now, and it's okay that the plan failed. When they returned the same way, they bumped into the zombie dogs again. More than 20 zombie dogs instantly changed the faces of the players. This is a zombie dog. The scary thing about the zombie virus is that it is contagious. If they are accidentally bitten, if they don't return to the infinite space before the corpse changes, they will definitely become zombies. Infinite space can spend points to restore injuries, which is why players have no disabilities. Facing the siege of more than 20 zombie dogs, there were not enough bullets. Under the chaos, Wu Yong didn't know where he ran to. Fortunately, his 2 teammates are still around. Damn it, who of you still remembers the way back? This side is too roundabout, if we can't find the way back, we may be trapped here. Cursing secretly, Wu Yong looked at his 2 teammates inquiring. Hearing Wu Yong's words, the faces of the 2 players were also not good. The evil spirit of the zombie dog just now was too terrifying. I don't know. It's like a maze. I can't remember the way. Me too. Wu Yong cursed inwardly. He could deal with zombie dogs himself. What he was afraid of was that there were too many zombie dogs. Players could see the attributes of zombie dogs. 2.8 strength, 3.1 agility, and his 5.1 strength is enough to kill instantly with a punch to the head, and his agility attribute is also 4 points. He is taking the route of strength sensitivity. Of course, both mental and physical fitness have also been strengthened. But his 2 teammates were a bit difficult, and he was even thinking, when necessary, abandon these 2 teammates to buy him time. We can't stay like this anymore. We must find the characters in the original plot, otherwise we won't be able to get out. In a bad mood, Wu Yong could only give this order with a dark face. Just after he finished speaking, Wu Yong noticed that the expressions of the two teammates in front of him were very strange. Their eyes were wide open, as if they had seen something terrifying. They were staring at his back. With a bad premonition in his heart, Wu Yong didn't ask what was behind him. His face turned green. Muscles are turned upside down, the skin seems to have been peeled off alive, bloody everywhere, thick and abnormal limbs have sharp claws that are more than a foot long, sharp fangs are densely covered, and the bloody tongue in the bloody mouth is like a snake's wing. Quietly, the terrifying behemoth carried a monstrous bloody aura, and he could feel the visual coercion just by looking at it, as if facing a natural enemy. The breath of death quickly enveloped the three of them. Species, liquor strength, 4.7 dexterity, 4 spirit, 3 constitution, 6. Taking a deep breath, Wu Yong only felt cold all over his body. 4.7's strength was worse than him. 4's agility. What kind of speed is this? What's even more frightening is the physique at 6 points. Are you kidding me? This attribute can completely abuse the three of them. Most importantly, this monster seems to have found them. What kind of monster is this? Yang, brother Yang, what shall we do? The teeth of the two players are shaking. This is different from what they imagined. The other zombie worlds are ordinary zombies. There are at most a zombie dog or something like that. How come there are such horrible monsters here? Hiss. In the ferocious low neighing, Wu Yang was not allowed to speak at all, and his tongue, as hard as a steel whip, flicked and pierced across a distance of more than 10 meters in Wu Yang's terrified eyes. Grass. Cursing angrily, Wu Yang bent over to hide, but, puff. Poof. Cough cough. Turning his head to look at the teammate who was penetrated from the back, Wu Yang's pupil shrank, a third-level body armor. How terrifying it is to be penetrated from front to back. Run. With an angry shout, Wu Yang turned his head and ran away decisively. If he didn't leave, he would stay or wait for death. After waking up, looking at his companion who was still on the ground, his whole body trembled, and he turned his head and chased after Wu Yang. Before he had run 2 steps, Wu Yang and the two of them stopped. At the corner ahead, a blood-colored sharp claw protruded out, followed by the hideous figure of the licker. The second licker appeared. There are wolves in front and tigers in back. Wu Yang's heart is cold. He raised the gun in his hand and pulled the trigger without thinking. Da-da-da. The sound of gunshots raged, blood sprayed from the lickers in front, and they retreated quickly amidst hissing. Holding the gun in his hand, Wu Yang didn't dare to stop, turned his head and ran to the right. Another player hurriedly followed. Before running a few steps, his ankle was suddenly pierced. Falling to the ground, looking down at the tongue piercing through the ankle, the player yelled in despair. No. Brother Yang, save me. Don't. Chapter 60. The gunshots were so ear-piercing that Li Mu could hear them clearly even 100 meters away, but the experimental area was too big and too chaotic, like a labyrinth, coupled with the echo. When Li Mu arrived, the ground all that's left is the body, and 2 lickers enjoying a gluttonous feast. Species, licker strength, 5.1 agility, 4.3 spirit, 3.1 physique, 6.6 in Li Mu's sight. The size of the 2 lickers is constantly getting bigger, and their attributes and evil spirit are also getting stronger. He took a deep breath. The strength of 5.1 was just a little bit worse than him. The most terrifying thing was the physique. It was as high as 6.6. You must know that the resilience of the licker is terrifying. To put it simply, the defense is high, and the blood is thick. Although Li Mu had long thought that the attributes of the licker would be very powerful, but he did not expect that it would expand to such a state, especially the fact that the ingestion gene becomes stronger, which is too scary. Holding the 3-edged army thorn in his hand, Li Mu moved quickly under his feet, and the distance of more than 10 meters was crossed in an instant, and the sharp 3-edged army thorn in his hand shone with a dazzling cold light. The goal is clear. Li Mu is to penetrate the licker's head, which is the only weakness of this monster. It will be difficult to hit when the hard skin grows on the licker's head later. The strong wind brought by Li Mu attracted the attention of the 2 lickers. From the perception of the lickers, Li Mu was very powerful, and the blood in his body was as red as a lamp. Hiss! Hiss! The cunning licker screamed at Li Mu, and flicked his re-evolved tongue, sweeping towards Li Mu like a steel whip. The agility of the licker is only 4.3, but this tongue is more than this speed. especially when it is close at hand, it is even more deadly. Turning his head to avoid the licker's tongue, Li Mu has long been guarding against this killer weapon. The most powerful thing about the licker is not his sharp claws and fangs, but his terrifying tongue as hard as a steel whip. Boo! Almost in an instant, the glass that could only make a small hole with a fire axe in the laboratory was broken by this blow. Li Mu did not hesitate, and the three-edged army thorn in his hand suddenly pierced. Pooh! Stirring vigorously, Li Mu swung backhand, and there seemed to be a huge figure pounced in front of his eyes. The cold light of the three-edged army flickered with a burst of blood, and in the raging wind, his figure turned over and landed firmly on the ground. After Li Mu fell, a corpse fell, half of the fragile head disappeared, and the huge body of the licker was no longer alive. Ding! Congratulations, you have killed one licker, and you have obtained 100 points. The tenfold reward talent has been activated. Congratulations, you have obtained 1000 points. Your current kill count is 1. Ding! Congratulations, you have killed one licker, you get 100 points, and the 10 times reward talent is activated. Congratulations, you got 1000 points. Your kill count is now 2. Gaining 2000 points again can be regarded as making up for the previous consumption. After taking a look at the tragic death of the player, Li Mu looked in the direction and chased to the right. Wu Yong is very collapsed now, 2 teammates died one after another, and now he is left alone, running around like a headless chicken. The most important thing is that he has no bullets now. The 5 zombie dogs consumed his last bullets on the way, and now he can only use melee weapons when he encounters zombie dogs. If he encounters a licker, Wu Yong didn't dare to think about it anymore. Da-da-da! When the sudden gunshot came, Wu Yong was overjoyed. There was a gunshot. As long as there are gunshots, it proves that someone is there, and if someone is there, it will be much safer. As if injected with new vitality, Wu Yong quickly ran towards the direction of the gunshot, and at the same time, Li Mu, who heard the gunshot, also turned around and quickly chased after him. Turning around the corner of the laboratory, Wu Yong's face turned pale when he saw those players. There were 7 players in the not-so-wide corridor. At this time, the 7 players looked terrified, thinking about shooting behind them while running, and in front of their sight, 6 lickers were constantly chasing under the suppression of firepower. The speed of the licker is simply not something that these players can keep up with. Even with a gun, they can't hit at all, let alone the weakness in the head. Without even thinking about it, Wu Yong turned his head and ran away. These are 6 lickers. And he also found that these lickers were scarier than the 2 he saw. The 4-dimensional attribute is obviously stronger. Before he could run a few steps, he suddenly collided with Li Mu, who was chasing him. Looking at Li Mu, who was holding a 3-legged army thorn a few meters away, Wu Yong was stunned, with an unnatural expression on his face. He and the players planned to kill Li Mu. Looking sideways at the group of lickers behind Wu Yong, Li Mu looked playful, looked at Wu Yong with a half-smile, and said, "I'm still alive, are you unhappy?" Twitching the corner of his mouth, Wu Yong laughed dryly, "How come, you're joking?" "Are you joking? I don't think so. I remember that you wanted to kill me before, right? In the laboratory over there." Chapter 61. The atmosphere became cold. Hearing Li Mu's words, Wu Yong's heart thumped and his expression changed. "My lord, I'm just joking. How dare I disrespect you? My lord, please don't embarrass me." "Is there any embarrassment? You know in your heart that you will die today." Li Mu shook off the blood on the triangular army's stab, and walked towards Wu Yong step by step without further words. "My lord, why did you kill me? I didn't make a mistake. There are so many lickers behind me, I can still share some for you." He was shocked and angry, but facing Li Mu, Wu Yong couldn't bear it. A little bit of courage to resist. The previous kick gave him too much psychological shadow, the kick almost killed him. "Why? I kill you, do I need a reason? As for those lickers, there are not many of you, and many of you are missing." After a cold bask in the sun, Li Mu is not a soft-hearted person. He is very clear about the laws of infinite space, and he has been implementing them all the time. The murderous intent made Wu Yong almost unable to move, and the oppression of the momentum made him unable to resist at all. This was the coercion on the spiritual level. After the triangular army stabbed, Wu Yong only felt that there was a flower in front of his eyes, and after that, blood flowers bloomed all over the sky. Ding! You killed a player, you can get 1/5 of the player's points, congratulations, you got 70 points, 10 times the reward talent is activated, congratulations, you got 700 points. 700 points? Not bad either. Wu Yang's body fell, but Li Mu didn't look at it. He looked at the players and the lickers who were getting closer. His expression remained unchanged. He stepped on his feet and the figure flew out quickly. The eyes of the players who were running for their lives were blurred, as if a figure passed them and rushed towards the lickers. These players were pleasantly surprised, while laughing at Li Mu's brainlessness, they were more happy to survive. After all, with someone holding the lickers back, they'll have more time to escape. Only. Why is the body getting heavier and heavier? And it's getting colder too? The neck was a little cold, these players touched it subconsciously, looked at the blood on their hands, and looked at the spraying all the way under their feet, they understood. Li Mu is not a good man and a believer. These players were scared out of their wits. There was no chance to guard against him. When he passed by, Li Mu swung his arm and quickly ended the lives of these players. Ding! You killed a player, you can get 1/5 of the player's points, congratulations, you got 40 points, 10 times the reward talent is activated, congratulations, you got 400 points. Ding! You killed a player, you can get 1/5 of the player's points, congratulations, you got 60 points, 10 times the reward talent is activated, congratulations, you got 600 points. Ding! 7 reminders in a row, ranging from 400 to 800 points, 7 players contributed a total of 3,200 points to him, and the 5,000 points spent on improving the bloodline were instantly repaid. Too late to be happy, Li Mu sideways avoided the tongue shot by a licker, raised his leg and kicked it, the power of up to 7 points burst out instantly, and the power of 350 kilograms burst out at one point, even with the physique of a licker I can't bear it either. This is Li Mu bursting out with all his strength, unlike Wu Yang's side, who kicked down half of the licker's body in an instant with a heavy kick, flew upside down more than 10 meters, and rolled several times on the ground screaming and unable to get up. The strong wind screamed behind him, and he quickly bent over to dodge it. The wind hit his face, and Li Mu raised the three-edged army thorn to block in front of him without even thinking. Boom! Amidst the dull sound, Li Mu took a few steps back, breathing heavily. There were a total of 6 lickers, one fell to the ground with serious injuries and could not get up, and the other 5 looked around like lone wolves, their fierce breath constantly spreading. Looking at the 5 lickers in front of him, Li Mu took the initiative to attack, and the triangular army thorns in his hand disappeared, replaced by the purple-black flame of hell. Provoked by Li Mu, the 5 lickers rushed forward together. From different angles, these lickers have devoured human genes, and their wisdom has made great progress. Bowing his head to avoid the zombies above his head, Li Mu was faster than these lickers. He slapped down the hell magic flame in his hand, and the deep purple magic flame instantly enveloped a licker. With a backhand copy, a licker was caught in his hand, like waving a big windmill, Li Mu danced continuously, and the other lickers were shot out one after another. The powerful force beat these lickers to death, roaring endlessly. Shrouded by the flames of hell, the 2 lickers kept roaring and rolling, but how could the flames of hell be extinguished so easily? The remaining 3 lickers had already been severely injured, the flames of hell were retracted, the triangular army thorns flashed a dazzling cold light again, and the figure flashed quickly. Before the 3 lickers had time to stand up, they were pierced through the head by Li Mu. Turning his head, looking at the crippled licker on the ground, Li Mu walked over step by step, and seeing Li Mu approaching, the licker who couldn't even get up screamed, as if warning Li Mu. Turning his head to avoid the dying counterattack, the 3-edged army stabbed his backhand and cut off his tongue. Looking at the licker who kept roaring, he sneered and said, "I'm not afraid if you are not crippled, let alone you are crippled now." Chapter 62. Puff. Lifting his foot and stomping down, the head of the licker who had no more power to resist exploded in an instant. At this point, all 6 lickers were wiped out. Ding! Congratulations, you have killed 1 licker, and you have obtained 100 points. The 10-fold reward talent has been activated. Congratulations, you have obtained 1000 points. Your current kill count is 3. Ding! Congratulations on killing 1 licker, you get 100 points, the 10 times reward talent is activated. Congratulations on getting 1000 points, your kill count is now 4. Ding! Ding! Congratulations on killing 1 licker, get 100 points, the 10 times reward talent is activated. Congratulations on getting 1000 points, your kill count is now 8. I have to say that these liquors are really valuable, and the 6 liquors contributed another 6000 points to him. The points for this trip to Resident Evil shouldn't be too scary. Character, Li Mu Strength, 7 Agility, 6.3 Spirit, 6.6 Physique, 6.7 Hidden Attribute Charm, 100, SSS, Perception, 40 Lucky, 21 Comprehensive Strength Evaluation, F Special Bloodline, Demon King Bloodline, SSS, Blood Awakening Degree, 6/100 plus Skills, Demon King Transformation, Hell Demon Flame, Dark Magic Ball, Primary Recovery Talent, 10 times Reward Possessed Items, Dark Bloodline Gift Pack, 8/10, Substitute Puppet X2, Folded Item Card X8, Crystal Core X20 Character Points, 3,8250 points. Teammates, Li Xinlan, Catherine Slave. Catherine. The points had reached nearly 40,000 before he knew it. After glancing at the corpses of the players on the ground, Li Mu didn't know if there were any players alive. Even if there were, he didn't have time to look for them. The agreed half hour is almost here. If he doesn't leave, he may not be able to get out for a while. Looking at the time, there is still an hour and a half left. At full speed, Li Mu's speed is still very fast, especially when he doesn't need to take a detour and go directly back to the main control room. The agility of 6.3 is almost 30 meters per second. In the main control, Ren and the others looked at the ferocious-looking, murderous liquor on the ground, and their hearts were a little shocked. Such a terrifying creature, Ren and the others felt that they would be torn apart in just a moment when they encountered it. Turning their heads to look at Xinlan, Ren and the others were even more shocked. You know, this liquor was controlled by the girl in front of him with just a glance, and rolled when asked to roll, and raised his paw when asked to do so. Too obedient. They all doubted whether Xinlan was human after all. Besides Xinlan, Catherine was also shocked. This is a liquor, and he was controlled at a glance? Isn't this girl who is usually charming like a goblin and acts like a baby with Li Mu every day? It's not like she hasn't seen Xinlan controlling monsters in the dark area before, but this is a liquor, even with strength as high as 6 points and agility as high as 5.4, and he was controlled without even saying a word? Seeing Xinlan's delicate smile, Catherine couldn't help but tremble in her heart. What kind of perverts are the two people in this team? Just when several people had different thoughts, Li Mu's voice suddenly came from outside the main control room. Xinlan, are you all right? Hearing Li Mu's voice, Xinlan didn't care about letting the liquor roll over, and turned her head and ran towards the door. The door was opened. Li Mu glanced around. When he saw the liquor rolling on the ground, Li Mu. Come on, really know how to play. You don't need to look at it to know, this unlucky liquor ran over to die, and then was controlled by Xinlan. He wanted to shoot and kill him, but after thinking about it, Li Mu still didn't do it, but he shot anyway. Boom! A body fell. It was Spence. When Li Mu came back, he killed people. In an instant, several members of the task force raised their guns and looked at Li Mu vigilantly. Don't look at me like that. Everything here is done by this person. He stole the virus and planned to sell it to arms dealers for huge profits. Before he left, he smashed the virus container. You all understand what happened next, but he didn't run out. And was brought back. Hearing what Li Mu said, Ren and the others were skeptical. I don't have time to waste with you. Let's go now. We can use the water and electricity pipelines. The speed must be fast. Time is running out. After saying this, Li Mu turned his head and walked outside regardless of whether Ren believed it or not. Leading a few people to the entrance of the water and electricity pipeline, Li Mu grabbed the cover, and the liquors got in first. There are no zombies below. Listening to Xinlan's report, Li Mu jumped down short, followed by Ren and others. Walking quickly inside the water and electricity pipeline, with the liquor in front, several zombies blocking the way were crushed in an instant. Looking at the ladder in front of him, Li Mu pointed and said, Kaplan, you go first, we are the last. When Kaplan and the others went up, Xinlan commanded the liquors to break through the fence and rush in instantly. The dilapidated pipeline successfully allowed the four of Kaplan to climb over it. When it was Catherine's turn, the pipeline was already crumbling. As for the bottom, it was densely packed with zombies. Chapter 63. On the other side of the pipeline, Kaplan and the others looked at the three of Li Mu with some concern. The bottom was full of zombies, and the pipeline was about to collapse. It was very likely that Li Mu and the others would be buried in the sea of corpses halfway through. Catherine, you go first, Xinlan you second. Regarding this situation, Li Mu's face remained unchanged, and he said calmly. On the other side of the pipeline, the four of Kaplan could hear what Li Mu said. Li Mu told Catherine to leave first, which obviously gave them a chance to live. In this case, they undoubtedly respected them. Nodding her head, knowing Li Mu's ability, Catherine didn't talk nonsense. It's not too easy to pass through the 10-meter-long pipeline with 2.8 agility. The feet moved quickly, not climbing over like Kaplan and the others. Every foot seemed to be stepping on the hearts of the four Ren. They just ran all the way, and the four suddenly doubted their lives. What the hell speed are you doing? The water and electricity pipes shook a few times, like a warning before falling, or like water and electricity pipelines. A man ran past just now, a little fast, so he didn't stop him. It was Xinlan's turn, glanced at the roaring and scratching zombies below. Xinlan's petite figure flickered, and with an agility of 5.5, she almost floated past in the blink of an eye. Looking at Xinlan standing in front of her smiling, the four of Alice glanced at each other, all a little confused, but thinking about Xinlan controlling the liquors before, they kept telling themselves to calm down. Anyway, the shocking thing today, that's too many, and 2 more will be fine. As for the water and electricity pipes, they didn't even shake them. Water and electricity pipeline A, it seems that something flew over just now. Water and electricity pipeline B, is there any? It seems that something has passed. Water and electricity pipeline C, what do you think? People are flying, what are you worrying about? When it was Li Mu's turn, Li Mu directly took out a black, hard, big and thick bag, and immediately stunned the people on the opposite side, and Catherine was no exception. FK. Brother, where did you get the M249 big pineapple? Are you F***ing Tinker Bell? Under the bewildered eyes of several people, Li Mu glanced around the zombies below, and a few special symbols appeared in his eyes. That was money. These zombies are all points. Da-da-da. In the confusion of several people, Li Mu's M249 big pineapple opened fire. Like harvesting wheat, the big pineapple swept across under Li Mu's control, and a large number of zombie heads were detonated, and then they were trampled under the feet of a steady stream of zombies. Ding! Congratulations, you killed 1 zombie, you get 5 points, the 10 times reward talent is activated, you get 50 points, and the current number of kills is 123. Ding! Congratulations, you killed 1 zombie, you get 5 points, the 10 times reward talent is activated, you get 50 points, the current number of kills is 211. Ding! Opposite Li Mu, Ren and the others looked dumbfounded. Are you here to make trouble? Couldn't you be quicker? Do you want us to crawl around in a panic? What kind of devil are you? The 105.56 bullets were quickly finished. Just when Ren and the others breathed a sigh of relief, Li Mu took out another magazine out of thin air and replaced it. You are really a little ding-dang. Is there a second dimension behind your A? How can you come up with everything? Catherine was stunned, she was really envious of Li Mu's non-stop tumbling. Not fake. How many zombies are there? These points are going to be earned like crazy. Indeed, Li Mu's points are going crazy. 1 zombie is worth 50 points, how many zombies are there densely packed underneath? There are 300 or 400. Seeing Li Mu changing magazines one after another, Ren and the others are going to go blind. You are really a little ding-dong. This took out the 5th magazine, and all the zombies below were suddenly wiped out alive. Ding! Congratulations, you killed 1 zombie, you get 5 points, the 10 times reward talent is activated, you get 50 points, the current number of kills is 437. Excluding the 81 zombies killed before, 356 zombies were killed here, 1 with 50 points, which gave him a full increase of 17,800 points, and his current total points have reached more than 56,050 points many. Nearly 60,000 points. You must know that when Li Mu entered the world of Resident Evil, he only had more than 1,000 points. Before the Infinite World ended, Li Mu had gained more than 50,000 points, not counting the 5,000 points for raising blood. Put away the M249 big pineapple, Li Mu is very satisfied with this gun, it has more bullets and is powerful enough. On the opposite side, seeing Li Mu throwing it behind him, the big one disappeared, and several people believed that Li Mu was Xiao Ding Dang even more. Quickly crossing the water and electricity pipeline, Li Mu looked at Ren and the others who were already stupefied and said, "Let's go, what are you looking at? Look at Tinkerbell." Chapter 64. After a short farce, I walked through the water and electricity pipes and returned to the previous work area. At this time, the doors of the water-filled work areas have all been opened, and the dead bodies are nowhere to be found. Walking step by step, Alice leaned against the glass and looked inside as if recalling something. I remembered, here. Before the pleasantly surprised Alice finished speaking, Li Mu interrupted directly, "Don't think about it, the antidote here has already been taken away by that Spencer. If you don't want that woman to die, get out quickly." Alice, who didn't believe it, opened the door and ran in. Looking at the empty container, her face was very ugly. "Let's go, or do you want to kill Ren?" Leaning against the door, Li Mu urged. "There is indeed not much time now. If there is no accident, there is still a battle at the station, and the time wasted on the water and electricity pipelines is half an hour, whether it is long or short. Now the time left for Li Mu and the others is only 40 minutes, the train needs to run for less than 10 minutes, and the rich time is only 30 minutes. Hearing Li Mu's urging, Alice ran out of the pool and looked at the zombie sitting up suddenly behind her. Li Mu raised her gun. Boom! The zombie fell down in response. Alice was startled, and turned her head to look at the fallen zombie, feeling a little terrified. Walking out of the studio, Ren's face seemed to be even paler. Alice hurried over to support her, and the group of people accelerated towards the station. After passing the stairs, he finally returned to the platform. Looking at the large and small boxes on the platform, Kaplan felt as if he had passed away. He was just relieved when suddenly there were several crisp sounds. Click, click, hiss. There was a hissing sound, with the sound of glass shattering and walls being destroyed. Kaplan and the others looked up, and suddenly took a breath. I saw terrifying giant beasts crawling over from the ceiling, and they were obviously lickers I had seen before. What to do? There are too many. Seeing that there were 6 or 7 lickers, Kaplan panicked. Carried by Alice and Matt, Ren looked up at the zombies on the ceiling and said weakly, "Go. Go. Get on the train and escape. These monsters should not be able to catch up with the train." "Can't catch the train?" Li Mu shook his head. "The speed of these lickers cannot be surpassed by the train, and the lickers catch up like playing." In order to ensure the survival of Alice and Matt, Li Mu turned to look at Catherine and Zinlin, and said, "You two protect them, and I will kill these lickers." Taking a few steps back, Catherine knew in her heart that she was definitely not a match for these fast and powerful lickers. No matter how powerful her skills were, she was no match for absolute strength. The more people are separated, this kind of open place is very suitable for this group of lickers to play. Zinlin and Catherine can't defend against a few lickers. In order to make a quick victory, Li Mu does not intend to hide his strength. This world will end soon, and there is no need to hide your strength. The power of magic runs through the whole body, and the purple magic flame spreads out from Li Mu's body. Her neat and tidy hair grows longer, the purple light dances wildly, and a powerful momentum spreads, like a hurricane passing through. The demon pattern is lingering, and there are 2 more demon horns on the head. The fine lines rotate on it, and a pair of demon wings stretch out leisurely. The power belonging to the demon finally appears at this moment. Behind Li Mu, Catherine blocked the gust of wind in front of her. Her eyes swept over Li Mu, and looked at the man 3 feet above the ground surrounded by magic flames. Her eyes were full of horror. Now she finally understands why Li Mu is so powerful. Blood. This is the power of blood, the core power of infinite space, and it seems that this blood is of a high level, with magic horns on its head, magic wings on its back, and magic flames around its body. This is the blood of demons. It's just that Catherine doesn't know what level of demon bloodline is, but no matter how rubbish the demon bloodline is, the definition is S-level, and S-level bloodline requires at least 800,000 points. Catherine doesn't know how Li Mu got 800,000 points, but she already understands the real gap between him and Li Mu. Before she has a bloodline above S rank, no matter how hard she works, she is an ant in Li Mu's eyes. Now she is very fortunate. If she hadn't talked about the slave contract, Li Mu at that time would never have hesitated to kill her directly, because she was just an ant at that time. The difference is that, she said, she was an ant with cultivation value, but she didn't say it. She was a cup of Lois, who died of a heart attack after leaving the infinite space. I don't know why I can't hate the hatred in my heart. It's more about working hard. She has to work hard to let Li Mu see her value, otherwise she doesn't even have the value of being cultivated. Once she loses her value, she will become a dispensable slave. How could she allow such a thing? The change in mentality made Catherine no longer resist Li Mu, and even wanted to show her value in front of him. Chapter 65. Ding! You have activated the Demon King form, and the attribute panel has been refreshed. The magic power in the blood can keep people in this state for 30 seconds. Please use it with caution. A mechanical notification sound echoed in his mind, and surging power gushed out from his body. The indescribable power gave Li Mu the illusion that he could smash the space. The surging magic power spread out with unimaginable coercion, and the 6 lickers roared, and their original forward posture stopped, as if they were half frightened, and began to retreat. Call! With flapping wings, Li Mu's eyes flashed with a purple magic light. How could he let these points slip away like this? The teleportation-like speed is hard for the naked eye to catch, and the distance of tens of meters was crossed almost instantly. The palm covered with fine black scales grabbed it hard, and the surging force instantly scratched the head of a licker. Ding! Congratulations on killing 1 licker, get 100 points, the 10 times reward talent is activated. Congratulations on getting 1000 points, your current kill count is 9. Spike! In the form of the devil, Li Mu was invincible, and before everyone could react, he instantly killed a licker. Flapping its wings, a ghostly figure flashed across the platform, as if sensing a crisis. A licker let out a frightened roar, and shot out its steel whip-like tongue in an instant, aiming at Li Mu. The devil's claws waved, the palm covered with black scales grasped the licker's tongue, and the arm with infinite power waved. The licker kept spinning in midair like a windmill, and the terrified roar resounded throughout the platform. Call! After spinning a few times, Li Mu let go of her palm, and the huge force instantly threw the licker away. A licker in the distance was instantly taken away, and the 2 lickers burst into pieces in midair. A fog of blood. Ding! Congratulations, you have killed 1 licker, and you have obtained 100 points. The 10-fold reward talent has been activated. Congratulations, you have obtained 1000 points. Your current kill count is 10. Ding! Congratulations on killing 1 licker, you get 100 points, the 10 times bonus talent is activated. Congratulations on getting 1000 points, your current kill count is 11. In less than 5 seconds, the 3 lickers died instantly, and the remaining 3 lickers screamed in fear, and their huge bodies kept retreating. Li Mu's power was too amazing. These bloodthirsty beasts all afraid. Want to leave? Did you ask me? Letting you go, is it not for nothing that I transform into a demon king? With a cold snort, 2 groups of purple-black magic flames surged in his hands, and the hell magic flames burned the air, distorting the space. Go! Throwing out with both hands, 2 balls of hell demon flames shot out with the breath of death. The 2 retreating lickers couldn't dodge at all, and instantly turned into 2 balls of purple-black flames. Hiss! The last licker jumped again and again, and the cry of its companion's tragic death made the licker frightened and ran away crazily. Did I let you go? Flapping its wings, the figure instantly spanned 100 meters, and the palm of the burning magic flame smashed the head of the last licker in an instant. Ding! Congratulations, you have killed 1 licker, and you have obtained 100 points. The 10-fold reward talent has been activated. Congratulations, you have obtained 1000 points. Your current kill count is 12. The completely dead body was covered by the purple-black magic flame, and it was burned to ashes almost instantly. At this moment, Li Mu relaxed and glanced at the countdown to the transformation of the Demon King. At this time, there were still 20 seconds left for the devil to transform, and the attribute at this time made Li Mu's eyelids twitch. Character, Li Mu Strength, 7, 11, Agility, 6.3, 10.3, Spirit, 6.6, 10.6, Constitution, 6.7, 10.7, Hidden Attribute Charm, 100, SSS, Perception, 40 Lucky, 21 Mana, 19/30. Each point of mana can maintain the form of the devil for 1 second. Comprehensive Strength Evaluation, F Special Bloodline, Demon King Bloodline, SSS, Blood Awakening Degree, 6/100 plus Skills, Demon King Transformation, Hell Demon Flame, Dark Magic Ball, Primary recovery talent, 10 times reward possessed items, dark bloodline. Gift pack, 8/10, substitute puppet x2, folded item card x8, crystal core x20 character points, 62,100 teammates, Li Xinlan, Catherine Slave, Catherine. The 4-dimensional attributes have all broken through 10 points, and the strength evaluation is finally no longer F but the real F. You know, this is his second world. The dark purple magic flame retracted from the body, the magic patterns disappeared, the magic horns on the top of the head and the magic wings behind him also dissipated, and Li Mu turned back into a human form again. Ding! The Demon King form is over, and your remaining use time is 19 seconds. There is no cooling time. If the mana in your bloodline is exhausted, you will not be able to use the devil form. You will recover 2 mana per hour. Chapter 66. Turning into a demon, he almost instantly killed the horrific-looking licker. Ren and the others were stunned. Living in the age of science, when a mythical demon suddenly appeared in front of his eyes, anyone who saw it would be terrified. My God, what did I see? A living demon? Or our teammates? Kaplan was stunned, staring blankly at Li Mu, who fell to the ground, and it took him a long time to say this. Supported by Alice and Matt, Ren spat out a mouthful of blood and said palely, "Did your head get pinched by the door? Hurry up and open the door." Ren's condition was getting worse and worse, and the few people who were out of danger didn't dare to delay, turned their heads and walked towards the train quickly. Walking to Xinlan and the others from a distance, Li Mu glanced around, making sure there was no danger, and then said to Xinlan, "Kill the licker you controlled before, we are leaving, and a licker has 100 points. These are the points belonging to Xinlan." Li Mu didn't plan to kill them with his own hands. It's really good to reward the talent 10 times, but it's hard to justify Xinlan giving up the points like this. The most important thing is that he can't tell the secret of the talent. It's not that I don't believe in Xinlan, some things, it's better for only myself to know. Nodding, Xinlan controlled the licker to come out, and Kaplan and the others who had just boarded the train were startled. Blowing the licker's head off with a shotgun, the crisis was resolved, and the 3 of Li Mu boarded the train. Looking at the time, there are still 21 minutes before the final closing time of the gate, which is quite ample time, but I don't know if Ren can get out alive. In the original book, Ren turned into a dead body on the train because he dragged on for too long, but even if he went out, I'm afraid there would be no good results. There was a clone of the doctor waiting outside the door. The train stopped, but Ren didn't die. Li Mu and his group got off the train and stepped up the stairs. When they walked up to the gate, a notification sound suddenly came from Li Mu's ears. Ding! The world of Resident Evil is over, and now we are returning to infinite space. The vision was blurred, and finally the backs of Alice and the others disappeared. When they reappeared, the 3 of Li Mu had already appeared in the settlement space. Ding! Dear player Li Mu, congratulations on successfully completing the task, and now the task rewards will be distributed. Task 1, follow the task force and survive until the end of the world line, that is, escape from the hive. The reward point is 1000 points. The task has been completed. Congratulations, you have obtained 1000 points. Ding! The 10 times bonus talent is activated, congratulations on getting 10,000 points. Task 2, ensure that Alice and Matt survive until they leave the hive, reward points 500 points, the task has been completed, reward points 500 points. Ding! The 10 times bonus talent is activated, congratulations on getting 5000 points. Ding! Now the hidden rewards will be distributed. Ding! Since you successfully led the protagonist team out of the hive, and the task force Kaplan and Ren survived, I reward you with 200 points. Ding! 10 times reward talent activated, congratulations on getting 2000 points. Ding! Since you have killed more than 10 lickers, congratulations on winning the title of Licker Killer, with 1000 bonus points. Ding! The 10 times bonus talent is activated, congratulations on getting 10,000 points. A series of reward messages made Li Mu a little confused. Isn't this reward too generous? If he had known that he could get points rewards if he left alive with the task force, why would Li Mu let them die? Loss. Blood loss. But these rewards are not bad, they all add up to a full 27,000 points, and now his points reached 89,100 points in an instant. This is a huge sum of money. Turning to look at Xinlan and Catherine, the two girls also had joyful expressions on their faces. Even if they didn't have the reward of 10 times the talent, the light task rewarded them with 2,500 points, which is already quite a lot. It seems that everyone's harvest is not bad. Nodding her head, Xinlan showed off and said, Li Mu big brother, Xinlan now has 3,100 points. Touching Xinlan's little head, Li Mu smiled and said, okay, Xinlan is the most powerful, it's almost there, let's go back, when the time comes, maybe we can make a fortune. With a blank expression on her face, Catherine instantly understood what Li Mu meant. You don't want to sell those T-virus medicines, do you? Nodding his head, Li Mu didn't hide his thoughts. The T-virus medicine is useless to him and Xinlan, and it's uncontrollable. Keeping it can only take up space. I'm not only planning to sell these potions, I'm also planning to sell information. There should be a lot of people willing to pay for the detailed information on the world of Resident Evil 1, right? Chapter 67. Selling information? You mean like that fat man? Smiling and nodding, Li Mu asked, don't you think selling information is a huge profit? In order to have more hope of survival, I think those players will definitely not be stingy with points, right? There are so many zombies in the hive, one with 5 points, how much benefit will those players get from bringing enough bullets? Do you think those players will still be stingy with points for the main mission plus hidden missions? Catherine is speechless, maybe this is the gap between her and Li Mu. Li Mu's brain turns faster, she only thinks about how to improve her strength. Then how much do you plan to sell the information for? Catherine was curious about this. I'm not too dark. Selling information for 1,000 points is not black, right? Li Mu said after thinking about it, pinching his chin. Catherine is a little confused, 1,000 points is not black? This is nearly a quarter of her points. Seeing Catherine's strange gaze, Li Mu rolled her eyes and said, do you calculate how many points they can earn in this world? The main task is 1,500 points, the important thing is the hidden task, one person is 100 points, how many people are in the task force? And you forgot to count the points gained by the zombies. By all means, they can pass the level safely, and everyone earns at least 1,000 points for nothing. How many people are there in a team? Is this still bad? Thinking about it this way, it seems that it is really not a loss. Ding! Now we are going back to the infinite space, all players, please get ready. The vision was blurred for a moment, a white light flashed, and the three of Li Mu had already returned to the residence. Still in the original position, Xinlan spread her hands and leaned back directly on the sofa. Her curvy, charming, and alluring appearance made Li Mu look sideways, and she couldn't help feeling a little angry. It's so exciting when you just come back, is it really okay? Don't you think he's a man? Well, the sofa at home is still comfortable. The meowing sound made Li Mu's brows twitch, which was clearly provoking him. Can this be tolerated? Absolutely can't bear it. I originally planned to go out and sell intelligence and T-virus potions, but now I'm selling a fart. Let's deal with this girl first. With a sweep of both hands, Xin Lan was immediately picked up and carried on her shoulders. Li Mu turned her head and walked towards the bedroom. Wow! Li Mu big brother, what are you doing? Put me down. Crack. Be honest. If you don't teach you for a long time, you will go to the house to expose the tiles and see how I will deal with you. By the way, Catherine, if you're tired, take a rest first, and I'll find you when I have time. He didn't even care about Xinlan. This girl Li Mu knew very well that she had a ghost in her heart, so if she was put down now, she might just be having fun secretly. Before she finished speaking, she changed her tone completely, and Catherine in the living room, who was listening to the weeping and complaining, was restless. Looking at the closed door, the sound of running out of the gap made Catherine's eyes a little dazed. On the platform, Li Mu's strength made her afraid, and she couldn't even think of hatred or rebellion. After she gave in, Li Mu's innumerable advantages suddenly popped up in her mind, and Catherine didn't know what happened to her. Even if he likes Li Mu, it's too fast, isn't it? How long has it been? Less than a week to go. Be reasonable. She was obviously forcibly turned into a slave. Catherine wanted to pry open her head to see what was inside. How could she be so disappointing? Lying on the sofa in despair, Catherine felt that it was useless for her to think about it. Li Mu didn't seem to have her in her eyes. What am I doing now? I'm hot from the shaving pole? Unrequited love? Crazy. Catherine is about to go crazy. She is also the queen of the killer world after all. She kills without batting an eye, and has an arrogant heart. Why was she suddenly captured? Lying on the sofa, Catherine was distressed. Cursing secretly, Catherine hurriedly dragged her weak and delicate body towards the room, as if she was afraid that Li Mu would be caught in such a state when she came out. Chapter 68. This sleep lasted for 1 day. When Li Mu woke up, the sky outside had already darkened, presumably it was night. The difference between day and night in infinite space lies in the dark area. Once the light of the city dims, it means that night is coming. Players who have nothing to do will wander around the city, and the clean city during the day will become lively. Stretching her body, holding Xinlan in her arms, Li Mu didn't want to get up, but thinking of the points, Li Mu felt that she still had to fight. Not only Li Mu woke up, but also Wang Chuan, who was confiscated by Xinlan, groaned twice in a daze. Xinlan opened his eyes, and the cute Lolita yawned. This yawn is so white. No, that's a big yawn. Not right. Cursing secretly, Li Mu patted Xinlan's delicate cheeks, and said, my heart is blue, let's go out for a walk. Rubbing in Li Mu's arms, like a lazy Persian cat, Xinlan coquettishly said, why don't you sleep again? I'm still a little sleepy. The black question mark on his face, no matter what Li Mu thinks, it's not his reason, right? It seemed that this little girl was instigating the flames of war from beginning to end. Can this still be his fault? Snapped. The crisp sound echoed, and with a slap, Xinlan suddenly felt relieved, staring at Li Mu with wide eyes. Her puffed face was full of anger. Hit me again. You were the one who beat you, and you're justified in taking the blame every day. Without showing any weakness, Li Mu turned back with a straight face. Humph. You're just bullying a weak, pitiful, and helpless little loli like me? You? Weak? Pitiful? Helpless? Little loli? Can you take out your ID card to see how old you are? Seemingly understanding the meaning expressed in Li Mu's eyes, Xinlan snorted, raised her head and shouted, I don't care. Do you think I don't look like a loli? Is my Xinlan's little face not enough for a loli, or is your Li Mu drifting away? Li Mu. No, I think it's you who drifted away, and I'll let you know what the result will be if you drift away. Turning on the horse, Xinlan, who was still on the horse, was instantly held down. Oh, so fierce. Bullying people again. In the living room, Catherine's face darkened when she just came out, and she felt that she was probably going crazy when she heard Li Mu's moaning faintly. There is no end. More than an hour later, Catherine couldn't help feeling a little envious when she saw Li Mu come out with Xinlan in her arms. A woman with a man and a woman without a man are fundamentally two different concepts. Xinlan is well-fed, full of satisfaction written in her eyebrows and eyes, and her temperament and brilliance are different. It seems that you are resting well, let's go out together and sell intelligence and T-virus medicine. Catherine doesn't even know how to complain. Where did you see that I'm resting well? After being tossed by your noise for several hours, it's only a ghost if I can rest well. Noticing Catherine's resentful gaze, Li Mu couldn't help touching her nose, as if the sound insulation at home was not very good. Leaving the residence, the city at this time is much more lively than during the daytime. Players are everywhere, coming and going, and even many people are setting up stalls to sell things. Li Mu looked while walking. Most of them were some props, guns, and ammunition, and some things in the world. The conspicuous presence of the three of Li Mu on the road has attracted the attention of many people. Although there are many women in the infinite space, there are not many really beautiful ones. In particular, the best players like Xinlan Catherine are even rarer. The most unbearable thing for these players is that Li Mu has occupied two best players by himself. Hiss. I'm afraid your sister's man is going to die of pleasure. The other one is not bad either. That figure, that face, is top-notch. She is prettier than any girl Shendu on our planet. That kid is so happy. Bringing a woman out so blatantly, who is this boss? If you are weak, unless you don't leave the city, these two women should be replaced in a few days. Give me one of these two women, and I will live 10 years less. 20 years, I am willing to. Listening to the whispers around, the infinite space still depends on the fist. These players are not fools, and they understand what they shouldn't say, otherwise they might die in the dark area one day. Finding an open space, Li Mu took out the T-virus potion, glanced over, and shouted, "Sell blood." Chapter 69. One stone stirs up 1,000 waves. The word blood instantly shattered the sanity of all the players, and many people rushed towards Li Mu. It is not an exaggeration to use the word riot to describe it. Players from the whole street rushed over, wanting to see what kind of blood Li Mu was selling. Blood. The core power of infinite space, the huge increase it brings is unimaginable, the only disadvantage is that it is too expensive. In the Infinity Store, the lowest level bloodline is the D-level bloodline, and the increase in attributes after the first fusion cannot exceed 0.5, but even so, the price is as high as 10,000 points. 10,000 points. A number that is almost daunting in the entire F-level area. It's not that players don't have this point, some players have it, but is it worth it? If you buy a D-level bloodline with 10,000 points, the increase in awakening will only add up to 0.5 attributes. In the later stage, you will need to improve the bloodline fusion degree. Although you will have skills, 10,000 points is still too much. Chapter 70. The boss of the blood-killing team? A thoughtful look flashed in Li Mu's eyes. He had long thought that there must be organizations in the infinite space. It's just that he's been here for too short a time, and he's been busy in the dark area all the time, so he spends his nights playing games that only grown UPS would play with Zinlin. Ahem, just to increase the awakening of Zinlin's bloodline, I haven't come out, and naturally I didn't pay attention to it. I didn't expect to sell bloodlines this time, and I accidentally bumped into these teams. The crowd dispersed, and the players all looked behind, with fear in their eyes. Obviously, the boss of this blood-killing team is very prestigious. Looking over, outside the crowd, a group of people was walking towards this side. There were quite a number of people in the group. Li Mu counted them, and there were 7 or 8 people. The number of teams is not absolute, but it is better to be less, and they can be divided into the same game. If there are more people, they may be divided into different worlds, or some large-scale dungeons. In the line of sight, the one walking in the front is a burly and strong man with a bloody aura all over his body. His figure of nearly 2 meters is almost like a giant tower. His eyes like copper bells are full of murderous aura, which is quite attractive. If there is no accident, this is the captain of the blood-killing team. Behind the strong man, the 6 blood-killing team members are also not weak. Walking from a distance, a group of people brought a huge pressure, and the players around back again and again, giving way to a 5-meter wide road. The strong man like an iron tower walked up to Li Mu, squatted down and looked at the T-virus potion on the street stall, his eyes glaring brightly. "This potion, are you sure you want to sell it?" The power of the T-virus potion made Yang Feng very excited. His attributes had already met the requirements, but he hadn't made it to the final step. He was accumulating points and wanted to buy some life-saving props and powerful equipment. When every infinite player wants to leave this area to advance to a higher area, there will be a promotion assessment, that is, a copy of the melee, and the winning party can successfully advance. As for the loser, the law of infinite space is very cruel, if you lose, you will die. His team members are also waiting. With the crystal nucleus of the dark area, they rarely use points to improve their attributes. This is also the mainstream choice of players, but he didn't expect that someone would sell C-level bloodlines for sale. Even the potential of the bloodline was as high as A-level, almost the moment he got the news, he rushed over with people in order to take down the bloodline. In infinite space, bloodlines are the core strength, and the help brought by bloodlines is too great, but the price of bloodlines has discouraged many people. And in front of his eyes, there is a bloodline with A-level potential. How could he not be excited? You must know that the price of A-level bloodlines is as low as 300,000 in the Infinite Store. Of course it's going to be sold, why don't you show it off? What, you want to buy it? Glancing at Yang Feng, Li Mu asked back. Seeing that Li Mu was not oppressed by his aura, Yang Feng was a little wary. He didn't remember when there was such a number 1 person as Li Mu in the F-level area. Friend, how many points do you sell this bloodline? After pondering for a moment, Yang Feng couldn't help but speak because of the allure of the bloodline. I don't want much, T-virus medicine, 100,000 points is not expensive, right? The price of bloodline. Li Mu knew in his heart that the points that can be obtained from an F-level area should be limited. 100,000 points can buy a bloodline with A-level potential. Definitely not expensive. His complexion changed, 100,000 points was still too much for Yang Feng. It's not like he didn't have these points, but taking them out all at once was like cutting his flesh. How about a discussion? For 50,000 points, I, Yang Feng, will sell you a favor. I will be promoted to a high-level area soon. When the time comes, you can come to me and I can help you with one thing. As soon as Yang Feng said these words, the surrounding players immediately exclaimed, and they all looked at Li Mu enviously. Yang Feng's favor? Hey, that's awesome. Buying a favor with 50,000 points is blood money. Except for those few teams in the F-level area, the blood-killing team can be said to be walking sideways. Even if they go to a high-level area, they can rise up in a short time. This is an invisible big fade. Not to mention the advanced areas, as long as the Blood Slaughter Squad has not been promoted, no one in the entire F area will dare to provoke this kid. Hearing the exclamations around him, Yang Feng heaved a sigh of relief, and couldn't help looking at Li Mu, intending to see what he had to say. Frowning, Li Mu's complexion is not very good, a favor selling 50,000 points? What the hell are you going to WRE for nothing? How much is face worth? Why don't you have any clues in your heart? If you want to PRSTU't for free, just say it. You can either buy blood with 100,000 points, or stay away and don't block my business. Do you want to buy it? If you don't buy it, you can buy it. Make way for someone else. Chapter 71. You. Being ridiculed by Li Mu for a while, when did Yang Feng suffer from this? The evil spirit was released, and the whole person glared at Li Mu, and even several team members surrounded him. Boy, what are you talking about? Are you afraid that you don't want to leave the city? Believe it or not, as long as you leave the city, your blood and your life will be gone. I don't think this kid has died before, and I don't know the prestige of our blood-killing team. Giving you 50,000 points is already a lot, but it's shameless to give you face. Captain, at worst, wait for a while. I don't believe that this kid will leave the city. Sooner or later, his blood will be ours. I'm Yang Hao, the deputy captain of the blood-killing team. As long as someone kills this kid in the next infinite world, 50,000 points, this bloodline will be taken by our blood-killing team. Hearing the words released by the blood-killing team, the surrounding players exclaimed, looking at Li Mu as if they were looking at a dead person. Tisk tisk, if you don't accept it, the road ahead will be difficult, and you will lose your life and blood in the end. This is the end of greed. Isn't it good to sell 50,000 points? It can also improve a lot of strength, and I don't have any foresight. 50,000 points, hehe, it would be great if I could share the same world with these players, 50,000 points for moving. In front of the street stall, Li Mu had already thought of this result. What kind of shit favors are useful in infinite space? If Yang Feng and the others died, wouldn't his points be in vain? Who wouldn't be an empty glove white wolf? Behind Li Mu, Xinlan and Catherine did not show any weakness. They stood on the left and right, staring fiercely at the members of the blood-killing team. Show your true colors? Forced buying can't change threats? It seems to be a consistent routine, but I'm sorry, in my eyes, you are really not a force. The F-level area is not what you say, it can make you kneel. There are many people who call you dad. Li Mu's words are not for nothing. He really didn't pay attention to the rotten fish and rotten shrimps on the opposite side. The big deal is that the points will increase the four-dimensional attributes. When the devil transforms, Li Mu will definitely kill the blood on the opposite side. The squad knows what cruelty is. More than 10 attributes, it is considered a kind of sublimation, just like a high realm beats a low realm. How can you lose? Ha 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 ha. Brother is right, a fool like Yang Feng should beat him on his knees and call him daddy, so he will know who his daddy is, and he has no money to buy your paralyzed blood. Laughter came from behind the crowd, the voice was rough, like muffled thunder, with a wild air. The crowd dispersed quickly, looking behind with fear in their eyes. It's Thunderstorm Captain Lei Yan. I heard that these two teams fought a lot in the deep dark area, and they seem to be accumulating strength to advance to a higher area. This time, they are probably here to buy blood. This is a good show. The two teams are here. I am afraid that several teams will be attracted here today. A-level bloodlines, they will definitely be attracted here. Once the bosses come, we players may be out of luck. Amidst the discussion among the players, Lei Yan of the Thunderstorm team led several members to the front of Li Mu's stall. He checked his blood first, and then his eyes lit up. Looking at the captain of the thunderstorm team in front of him, Li Mu's eyes were a little strange. Normally, his voice is so rough, it should be similar to a big guy like Yang Feng, right? Result? This buddy in front of him looks more than 1.7 meters tall, dry, and looks very thin. How did this body make such a wild sound? Hey, brother, don't look at me like this. I'm good at fighting. By the way, you have a bloodline of 100,000 points, right? I want it. I'm not like Yang Feng. Let's trade it, brother. This is too straightforward. Li Mu is almost in a daze. Wait a minute. Don't trade yet. The highest price wins. I'll offer 110,000. Don't trade yet. Before Li Mu could make a deal, another anxious voice came from behind the crowd, and Li Mu immediately. Hearing this voice, Lei Yan showed a pained expression on his skinny face, and said hastily, "Brother, how about my 115,000 points? Hurry up and trade. My points are really low, so I count on you to save my life." Lei Yan was still thinking about it. The crowd once again moved out of the way, and several figures ran to Li Mu at a very fast speed. I have 120,000. The world is in a hurry. As soon as the number of 120,000 points came out, the expressions of the onlookers were not to mention exciting. Even Yang Feng, the captain of the blood slaughter squad, changed his expression. If he didn't talk nonsense, he would have spent 100,000 points to buy it earlier, and there would be so many things behind. Running all the way to Li Mu's side, Li Yang almost vomited from exhaustion. He was at home hugging his female team members and was having a good time, but suddenly heard the news of the A-level bloodline. Before he could explode, he pulled up his pants and ran out. He still remembers the resentful eyes of his female team member. If he didn't buy blood, it would be a real loss. "Brother, give me a word, are you selling it? Who are you selling it to?" Chapter 72. Looking at the few people who were staring at him anxiously, Li Mu didn't think about who to sell to at all. Since there is only one bottle of T-virus medicine, wouldn't it be better to sell it to both of them? Seeing Li Mu take out a bottle of T-virus potion with his backhand again, Lei Yan and Li Yang almost sprayed it, and Yang Feng, who was sneering next to him, almost stared out his eyes. As for the surrounding players, they were even more confused. What the hell? "Brother, how much T-virus medicine do you have? Are you selling counterfeit medicine?" Taking out 2 bottles of grade A blood at once, this is indeed a bit of a nerve challenge. "I have 2 bottles here. I discount everything you said. I'm not black. How about taking away 110,000 bloodlines from one person?" Li Mu weighed the T-virus medicine in his hand. He wasn't a bloodline worth 220,000 points at all. Li Mudan was determined. Li Yang and Lei Yan were not calm. They almost lay down on the ground and continued, if they fell, their A-level blood would be lost. "Yes. No problem. 110,000 is 110,000. Brother, don't be crazy, I have a bad heart, and I'm about to have a heart attack. Please, let's trade first." The heads of the two were nodding like chickens pecking rice, and they looked anxious as if they were afraid that Li Mu would be unstable and fall down with a snap. He traded 2 bottles of T-virus medicine to the two of them. Seeing the skyrocketing 220,000 points, Li Mu felt elated. And Li Yang and Lei Yan who got the blood were also relieved, and they were equally pleasantly surprised. Some families are happy and some are sad. Yang Feng is about to vomit blood. Is there still a bottle of this shit? Staring fixedly at Li Mu, he really wanted to know if Li Mu still had a 3rd bottle. As if sensing Yang Feng's gaze, Li Mu turned her head, grinned, and asked with a smile, "Do you want to ask me if I have any more?" His face was a bit uneasy, but for the sake of blood, Yang Feng gritted his teeth and said, "If there are any, I would also like to buy a bottle with 110,000 points." Yang Feng wanted to slap himself on the ear. What kind of spectacle should he put on? Don't spend an extra 10,000 points. Flipping his hand, it was another bottle of T-virus medicine. Li Mu shook it, as if trying to attract Yang Feng's attention. Of course, it was successful. "See? This is the 3rd bottle, keep it and don't sell it." At the side of the street stall, Lei Yan and Li Yang, who were planning to leave, almost stopped laughing after hearing this, especially when they saw Yang Feng's ashen face. Their original heartache disappeared in an instant, and instead they felt a sense of superiority. "How are you? What if you have points? You still can't buy it. The fists were clenched and rattled, and the weird gazes of the players around made Yang Feng's face as black as a pot, especially the mocking expressions of the two old opponents, which made him so angry that he wanted to stare at Li Mu to death. Hey! You're fine. It's best not to let me see you outside. Let's go. With a cold snort, Yang Feng couldn't stay any longer, he turned his head and led the people towards the outside of the crowd. The players didn't dare to touch Bad Luck, and quickly moved out of the way. Watching the members of the Blood Slaughter Squad coldly leave, Li Mu didn't have the slightest fear in his heart. He didn't pay attention to a mere Blood Slaughter Squad. Yang Feng wanted to kill him, why didn't he? Yang Feng has at least 100,000 points, right? Kill him, 1/5 is 20,000, 10 times the reward. This is 200,000. You can make more money than selling your blood. At this moment, in Li Mu's eyes, Yang Feng was like walking 200,000 points. Brother, be careful, this Yang Feng has a lot of tricks, and many players have been killed by him. Even if you are not afraid, there are still your teammates. I have to say, buddy, your S*X is really not shallow. After regaining consciousness, seeing Li Yang winking at her, Li Mu could only shrug. Anyway, no one would believe him when he explained it. Besides, his thinking was not right, so he just acquiesced. After Li Mu was behind, Xinlan didn't feel anything, instead she was flattered. Catherine was a bit embarrassed, she was not Li Mu's person, but Li Mu didn't deny it, and Catherine didn't open her mouth to explain, she lowered her head. I don't know what I'm thinking. I will pay attention to this problem. If he wants to move, I will also see if he has the ability. Okay, as long as you know what's in your mind, then I'll go first. With a wave of his hand, Li Yang hurried away. On Lei Yan's side, he glanced at Li Mu, hesitated for a moment, and said with a grin, if you have any difficulties, you can come to me, I can help, Wei Lei Tian will not refuse, just treat it as an investment. Yes. Nodding, Li Mu did not refuse. After the thunderstorm person left, the players had no intention of watching it anymore. Although the blood was still there, they couldn't afford 100,000 points. Seeing that the group of players were about to leave, Li Mu rolled her eyes and said quickly, brothers, don't go, I have detailed information on a world here, do you want it? Chapter 73. Detailed information about a world? This immediately caught the players' attention. You know, in the infinite world, every game is risking your life. If you have detailed information, you can greatly improve the survival rate, but the death rate in the infinite world is very high. Nobody wants to go back to the real world and die of a heart attack afterwards. Seeing that this group of players are all interested, Li Mu smiled, these are points. I can assure you that you can earn at least 1,000 points and there is no danger. Of course, those who commit suicide do not count. The eyes of the players are brightened, can they still get 1,000 points under the condition of ensuring safety? This seems very tempting, but there are also many players waiting and watching. After all, there is no evidence for empty words, how can this be believed? It's not that we don't believe you, how can you prove that what you said is not a lie? In the crowd, some players were asking questions. Li Mu raised his hand without thinking about it and said, under the witness of the infinite space, I, Li Mu, swear that there is nothing false in what I say. If there is any violation, I am willing to accept the obliteration punishment. Seeing Li Mu make such a vicious oath, the players immediately believed it. In the infinite space, the oaths are all supervised by the infinite space, and no one dares to make them indiscriminately. With the foundation of trust, several players stepped forward. Boss, how did you sell this news? What's the price? Looking at the few players who gathered around, Li Mu assured, absolutely detailed, the fee is 1,000 points, deducting this 1,000, you can earn at least 1,000 points, the price is fair, right? Li Mu's words, several players looked at each other, but did not refute. Going through a world without danger and earning 1,000 points for nothing, is this still black? Thinking about the punishment for failure, the points are not enough to obliterate at every turn, this is already very profitable. However, I have something to say before, and you all have to swear that you will not tell the second person what you know, so that the transaction can be established. Looking at the players in front of him, Li Mu didn't want to turn around and start working as second-hand dealers. Several players made an oath, Li Mu collected points one by one, and then explained the plot of the Resident Evil world in detail, including the hidden mission. Li Mu has nothing to hide. Except for the first brush, the T-Virus potion is a quest item when it appears again. Players won't use points if they pick it up, let alone use it as blood. Naturally, Li Mu is not afraid. Only 7 players came to buy information in more than an hour. Li Mu was a little disappointed, but he didn't expect to sell information to survive, and he could earn a little bit. After closing the stall, Li Mu called Shang Xinlin and Catherine, went around a few streets, and found Shang Guanggan. Needless to say, Shangguan's work here is still very lively. As an intelligence dealer, it seems that this guy lives a very prosperous life. Li Mu was not in a hurry, and waited for Shang Guan to leave, so Li Mu sat down. Seeing that it was Li Mu, a big customer, Shang Guanggan immediately smiled, and the fat on his face trembled. A regular customer came to the door. It seems that there are many problems today. How are you doing? What do you want to know? Brother, I know everything. Of course, there are no points to avoid talking, and it is a small business. With a smile on his face, Li Mu will kill this fat man a little bit harder this time. I have exclusive information on a world here, from hidden missions to how to safely obtain points to leaving the world, including the main story with hidden missions, a minimum of 2,500 points, the more courageous, the stronger the ability, the higher the points. Shangguan's chubby face trembled, his 2 small eyes suddenly opened wide, and he was not calm anymore. Seeing Shang Guan doing this, Li Mu smiled in his heart, and said again, exclusive information, promise to leave from you, and never tell the second person, 10,000 points, buy or not. Fat face collapsed, Shang Guan cried poorly and said, brother, 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 I am also a poor man, let's. Before the fat man could finish speaking, Li Mu directly interrupted his crying, and said in a non-negotiable tone, don't be so fat, cry with me about being poor. You're so fat, you're worth 10,000 points, and you'll definitely earn more. If you talk nonsense, I'll leave. Instantly put away his mournful face, Shang Guan looked at Li Mu with a serious face and said, pay the money with one hand, and hand over the information with the other. Li Mu. I really believe in your ghosts. After getting 10,000 points again, Li Mu repeated the information about the world of Resident Evil, and after finishing speaking, he quietly waited for Shang Guanggan's next words. As a businessman, Shang Guanggan quickly realized the business opportunities here, and his fat face was almost full of laughter. According to Shang Guanggan's calculations, if he is brave and cooperates well, it is possible to earn 3,000 or 4,000 points in this world. This information is absolutely valuable. Okay, fat man, don't be happy. I know you earn a lot. I have a few questions for you. No problem, 10 points for common questions, 100 points for important questions. Li Mu, my mother. Chapter 74. Of course, the fat man who made a lot of money didn't ask for Li Mu's points in the end, and Li Mu also got the information he wanted. In infinite space, from F-level areas to 3S level areas, whenever the attributes meet the requirements, there will be a promotion trial, which is the test of going to a higher area. This test means that the dual attributes meet the requirements, that is, 10 points for the dual attributes. Of course, you can also choose to be stuck like 3 teams, keep accumulating points, and exchange for powerful props to ensure the survival rate of the test instance. Test dungeons are generally dual dungeons or melee dungeons, multiple teams and multiple factions melee. The final winner is promoted, or can be promoted if the requirements are met. The reason why the 3 teams have so many points is because they have experienced many worlds on the one hand, and the other is to spawn monsters in the dark area. A crystal core is sold for 90 points, which is 10 points cheaper than the big light ball enhancement. The sales volume is still very good, but in order to ensure survival, basically these players are almost stuck at 9.9 in their 4-dimensional attributes. After all, no one wants to die, even ants steal their lives, let alone people. After learning about it, Li Mu took Xinlin and Catherine back to the residence. In the living room, Li Mu was leaning on the sofa with Xinlin in his arms, his fingers were frosted, and his slender waist and limbs felt exceptionally good. Li Mu, big brother, what are you thinking? Since coming back, Li Mu just leaned on the sofa quietly, hugged her and didn't speak, looking like thinking. Xinlin couldn't help being a little curious. Catherine also looked at Li Mu curiously. Since her mentality changed, Catherine unconsciously began to pay attention to Li Mu's every move. After regaining consciousness, Li Mu looked at Xinlan and Catherine's puzzled looks, couldn't help but smiled and said, "I'm thinking about the blood-killing team. If I offend them today, there will be revenge. After all, money touches people's hearts. With so many points in my hand, they will definitely make up their minds. What's more, I have lost such an adult. If I don't take revenge, I don't believe it. Although I have absolute confidence that I can crush them, but it's easy to hide from the dark, and it's hard to defend against them. You are considered weak points. I'm thinking about what to do." Chapter 75. The city is destined to be restless tonight. The appearance of two A-level bloodlines, the confrontation of three strong teams, the face-slapping of the blood-killing team, and the cruel words that Yang Feng put down before leaving, all these boring players think there is something good to watch. The energy of infinite players is far higher than that of normal human beings. Even if they are sleepless for a few days, there is nothing to do. There is too little entertainment in the infinite space. These players without women can only spend their excess energy on gossip and eating melons. As for going outside the city, that's absolutely impossible. It's not like no boss has tried it. The boss with dual attributes close to 10 will turn into ashes as soon as he walks half a step. There is great terror in the dark area after the night, this is something that all players know. While these players were discussing, Li Mu, the protagonist in the storm circle, was currently checking his attributes, and planned to spend a wave. Characters: Li Mu Strength, 7 Agility, 6.3 Spirit. Spirit, 6.6 Physique, 6.7 Hidden Attribute Charm, 100, SSS, number 40 Lucky, 21 Mana, 30 30ths, each point of mana can be maintained, Demon King form for 1 second, mana recovery rate, 2/hour comprehensive strength evaluation, F Special Bloodline, Devil's Bloodline, SSS, Blood Awakening Degree, 6/100 plus skills, Demon King Transformation, Hell Demon Flame, Dark Magic Ball, Primary Recovery Talent, 10 times reward possessed items, Dark Bloodline Gift Pack, 8/10ths, Substitute Puppet X2, Discounted Item Card. X8, Crystal Core X20, T-Virus Potion X3 Character Points, 32,60 Teammates, Li Xinlan, Catherine Slave, Catherine this time, selling potions and information, he got a total of 237,000 points. Adding the previous 89,100 points, it reached a huge sum of over 320,000. Seeing so many points, Li planned to buy some equipment to arm himself and Xinlan. Level 3 bulletproof vests are really too hot, and they can block bullets. If you hit the legs, you can't defend them at all. Li Mu plans to buy some armor and weapons, isn't the point just for spending? Opening the Infinity Store, Li Mu plans to prepare a good set of armor for him, Xinlan and Catherine. His eyes kept searching, and soon a pile of items appeared in front of his eyes. Anti-chemical suit, F-level protective props, which can be immune to one attack by F-level and below ability users, full body type, priced at 1,000 points. Energy armor, E-level energy armor, full body type, energy 100 points, after the energy is exhausted, the energy armor loses its effect, the price is 3,000 points. Energy shield, D-level defensive props, automatically triggered by damage, the shield can offset multiple attacks by D-level ability users, the actual data fluctuates according to the strength of the ability user, and the price is 10,000 points. Distorted stance, C-level protective props, using itself as the stance, distorting all attacks can distort the attacks of C-level and below ability users, built-in nuclear power drive, the twisted stance will be closed when the energy is exhausted, and the price is 20,000 points. What's more advanced is that Li Mu didn't continue to read. At this stage, these are enough, and there is no need for more. It seems that Li Mu finally chose the energy shield. Relatively speaking, the energy shield is the most cost-effective. The key is that the energy shield can be recharged, which is why the price is relatively high. I spent 30,000 points to buy 3 energy shields, and the points dropped instantly, but Li Mu didn't feel bad at all. Compared with points, life is more important. After looking at the armor, Li Mu scanned around, but couldn't find what he was looking for. Out of boredom, he found something interesting. Demon Soul Stone, F-level props, which can increase the upper limit of magic power by 1 point after use. The price is 3,000 points, and the purchase quantity is limited to 10/10ths. This turned out to be something that can increase the upper limit of magic power. Li Mu immediately became interested. Isn't the Demon King's transformation really good? It's really powerful, but at this stage, he can only play for 30 seconds with a 6/100 awakening level, and will be knocked back to his original form after the time is exceeded. But this thing that increases the upper limit of magic power can solve his problem. 3,000 points may seem a bit expensive, but it is not a problem at all. He is Li Mu. He is rich. Are you afraid of Krypton Gold players? I bought 10 magic soul stones without even thinking about it, and the 30,000 points were gone in an instant. Li Mu didn't care, let alone 30,000, he would buy 50,000. The value of these things, absolutely it's not as simple as 30,000 points. 10 magic soul stones, that's 10 points of mana, consume a little mana in 1 second, he can play for 10 more seconds, plus the previous 30 seconds, it's nearly a minute. How terrifying is Li Mu with a 4-dimensional attribute of more than 10 points? Even if 10 blood-killing teams add up, it is not enough for Ji Mu to fight alone. After discovering the Demon Soul Stone, Li Mu couldn't help but began to look for the same item. If there was, he would definitely buy it without hesitation. Needless to say, Li Mu really found it. Resurrection Magic Crystal, F-level props, which can increase the recovery speed of magic power by 1 point after use. The price is 6,000 points, and the purchase limit is 10/10. The importance of mana recovery speed doesn't need to be mentioned at all. Now Li Mu can only recover 2 mana per hour, and it takes 15 hours to fully recover 30 mana. Li Mu is definitely not satisfied with this speed. Spending 60,000 points again to buy 10 soul-returning magic crystals, the original consumption of 320,000 points has dropped by nearly half in an instant, and now there are only 206,100 points left. After closing the infinite store, Li Mu sat down and took out 3 wristbands from the backpack. This is the energy shield, bracelet-shaped, simple and light, very easy to carry. Seeing Li Mu suddenly take out 3 bracelets, both Zinlin and Catherine were stunned. Li Mu, big brother, what is this? Put the ring on your wrist, and pass the other 2, one to Zinlin and the other to Catherine. I have it too. Catherine's words were full of surprises. She didn't expect her hard work to be able to get something. After reading the introduction of the bracelet, Catherine was instantly stunned. D-rank defensive item. To be honest, Catherine was really shocked. D-level defensive items. It is much more powerful than the 3rd level armor on her body. In the Infinite Store, the 3rd level armor is not even a grade. Can sell 200 points. One can imagine the price of D-level defensive items. Is this really for me? Seeing Catherine, who was at a loss, Li Mu waved her hand and said in a rather grand manner, "You can take it if it is given to you. You are more valuable alive. Of course, if you can't show your value, your benefits will come to an end." Silently putting on the bracelet, Catherine glanced at Li Mu and nodded, without speaking, but her heart was not at peace. Without paying too much attention to Catherine, Li Mu took out a few gems from the backpack again, and looked at the gems in his hand that exuded a faint energy luster. Li Mu's eyes gleamed, and he crushed a few gems with force with his palm. OJ. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel so you're notified of future uploads. You can find the next parts in the playlist visible on the screen or on my channel. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.